All right, guys, we just wrapped up from watching Yan and Merab. Yan got dominated. Jacob and I were wrong. 95% of MMA fans are pissed. And a guy that went from being talked about as a future GOAT, someone who has the well-rounded skill set to where like they're talked about in a high regard, being a top five skill for skill fighter on earth, now just got dominated, and that's three L's in his last three fights. What do you guys think of the fight? When the third, fourth round hit, it sank into my body that like Jan was gonna lose, and I just felt massively depressed, bro. So like, what about you guys? Because I'm really pissed.
Yeah, so I mean, it wasn't really too much. It's more of just disappointment and sadness. Initially when the fight started, my heart was racing. It's a Petr Yan fight. Anything can happen at any time. But as Merab wore on him, he just didn't look like the same man that he looked like a few years ago. And I think
Yeah,
he's just losing a lot of his confidence, especially when you have two close split decisions. I think you start to question a lot of your abilities.
yeah,
Yeah, I think
100%.
I think what happened was I think the first round I wasn't too concerned with anything, honestly, because like I expected before the fight even started, I said Peter Yan's gonna lose the first round, like 100%. He always loses the first round. I was like, okay, that's guaranteed. So when he lost the first round, I wasn't
Yeah,
that concerned. Then when he lost the second round, I was concerned. I wasn't that concerned. But then in the third round,
yeah,
when he got taken down, I was like, yeah, like this is it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like he's
This is
not
it.
gonna get a
Yeah,
finish. Like Merab is too tough. Like he's got a great chin. He's never been actually finished. Like he had that one like weird finish against Ricky Simon. That was not a legitimate finish. So I was like, yeah, I think this is over. I think it's tough for Jan because I mean there wasn't really much he could have done, but at the same time, he could have been a bit more aggressive with his hands as like he just has to figure like you got to just take a chance, you know what I mean? Like
I
if you
know,
get taken
man.
down, big deal, you know what I mean? Like you're gonna
Yeah,
get attempted to be like you're probably gonna get taken down either way, so you might as well
yeah.
let your hands go and see what happens. But I don't know. I mean, it was a weird position for him. Merab is what gets continues to get better, like continues to get better. That this Merab was not is a different Merab than who fought Jose Aldo. Like this is the best Merab we've ever seen, and it just
Yeah.
doesn't look like anyone's gonna touch him. Truly, it doesn't. Like I don't know what our only hope is. Like I think I
I
think
think we just have to we just have to become fans of Marab, bro. Like,
it's
what
like the
else are
thing
we
is
supposed to do?
I don't necessarily like hate Merab. If Cejudo
Same.
if Sterling leaves, like I won't hate Merab, you know what I mean? Because then he'll probably be the champion
Yeah.
and like, it's whatever. The thing I just hate is that like he's just it's the division is held back so much now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if Merab because like this whole bantamweight division, all because of Aljo, is like being held back. Like you got Cejudo coming back in May when this fight should have happened in March. You know what I mean? Like Aljo fought in October. He could have
Yeah.
fought in March. Aljo being a pre-Madonna, wanted to fight in May, so he's going to fight Cejudo in May. I think Cejudo is going to win. But if Aljo wins, it's going to be another like 8 months till he returns with his usual, like not wanting to fight a lot. And then
Yeah.
Sean O'Malley's waiting around still. And then Sean O'Malley, if he beats Sean, like that's going to be in
Yeah.
October. Merab's still not going to have a
Yeah.
fight. And then Merab's going to fight after that the next year, like a year from now. It's the
I
time to be
know, man.
all
Like,
fucked up. I think the best hope is that Cejudo beats Aljo. And Cejudo, I think would fight again quicker than Aljo would fight again, just because he's not Aljamain Sterling, one of the champs who just not. I don't want to say he's like a not active champ, but he's one of those guys who's just like who likes to have some time off. So I think Cejudo doesn't have as big of a weight cut. I think he'd want to fight Sean September. I
yeah.
can see that. He doesn't have a tough weight cut. He wants the money fight. He wants to make some money. And yeah, I could see it. But yeah, it's just a shame, especially if Aljo wins against Cejudo. I think that makes it even worse. But at the same, because if he loses, then Marab, there's nothing more to worry about. But at the same time, though, is I think like it's not as bad though, because there's a line for the belt already. So that makes it a little bit better. But still, it's a shame, especially seeing Petr Yan lose again, dropping to 3 in a row. And again, and in a fight that just was so boring too. Like it wasn't even like an entertaining fight at all. Like it was just like Merab just like trying like
Yeah, the only thing that was
grab
entertaining about it was the idea that like, we were all expecting a flurry from Yan. That was the only
Yeah,
thing
we were
that was
waiting for it and it just
entertaining.
never
We're
happened.
just waiting. Exactly. It never happened, dude.
Yeah, it's just a shame. I was really upset. Like
Yeah.
for a good hour after, I was like, fuck Merab, all that. Like
I know, man.
it's just a shame. And I'm hoping that Cejudo finishes Aljo. I really hope he does. I'm done with
Man.
Aljo. Aljo's the one I'm the most annoyed with right now. That's who I would say. You take no damage against Dillashaw. You and then now you keep postponing the fight and eventually May. What do you need to do? Get your stem cells, get your nails done, all that shit. Like work on your podcast. Like give me a break. You know what I mean? Just fucking fight.
Dude, he takes like a 3-year layoff every
I
single
know
fight, man.
I know
It
you're
seems
scared
like,
of. I know that you're gonna lose to Cejudo, so let's just get it over with quick. Like what I mean, you'll
But the
lose.
worst outcome, bro, would be if he beats Cejudo, and then we have
Then he's
him and
gonna take
Merab
another
just
8 months
dominating
off.
everyone.
He's gonna take another eight
I
months
know.
off.
That's basically like that's kind of what their game plan is. It's just to stink up the party at 135. Make sure Merab just trains his ass off and make Merab believe that his real title fights are just defending Aljamain Sterling's career, and Aljamain Sterling gets the older, washed up guys that are falling apart so that he can just go to Aruba and get his stem cells and take 3 years off. And the thing that I want to say is like the saddest part is that like again, I said this leading up to the fight. If there's anything useful about watching back tape, then like Yan should win. Like, and it just proved that at the end of the day, like sometimes you cannot pick a fight because the fighter that you're picking against just improves massively. And I mean, like, we knew that Merab wasn't going to be able to hold Yan down. We knew he wasn't going to be able to submit him. He doesn't have the submission skills like Aljamain. And the whole time he's just throwing strikes on the guard of Yan. But because Yan was doing so little, you have to also shit on Yan. Like I think for me, it's both of them had, significantly big performances insofar as like, Jan's was trash and it meant a lot for his career and he really shit the bed, and Merab's was amazing. But Jan's performance, bro, like, as I said, dude, every single knockdown Yan has in his career is when he's moving forward, throwing a combination. And you have him in the 4th and 5th round, like throwing body kicks, like investment shots when he needs to go forward and throw it. I don't think he threw a single right hand in the 4th and 5th round, not a single one. And so I'm just, Sammy, I'm going to let you speak, but I just want to say the last thing I need to say is Merab has the best cardio I've ever seen in the UFC.
Ever.
Literally. And everyone gasses in front of Yan, and Merab literally, that's the thing I noticed. It's the body language of Yan in the 3rd round just looked like a defeated guy. I've never seen that from Yan. It gave me nightmares while I was watching it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd continue off that, like seconding you on that I've never seen any cardio like Merab. I mean, you see these wrestlers that are shooting takedowns consistently, but I mean, he broke a record for takedown attempts, and half of the time he wasn't even getting takedowns and expending more and more work in the clinch and trying to hold the guy against the fence. And still, by the 5th round, he looked like the same fighter as in the 1st round, whereas Yan was just completely disheartened. It looked like he just
looked like he
didn't
saw
want
a
to be in
ghost
there anymore. I think he was really frustrated just because he was doing all the right things, but he couldn't get into any rhythm. And one of the big things with Yan is he needs his rounds. He needs to fight at his pace to get his reads and get his calculations. And one of the last things that I want to say about it is there was a lot of low leg kicks that Merab threw, which really helped him a lot because Petr Yan's left leg was significantly hindered in the fight. And it made it harder for him to switch stances, which is a lot of the way that he sets up his combos, where he'll switch a stance, throw the lead jab and switch a stance and throw another like overhand or something. But a lot of his striking is made off of switching that stance. You saw it in the O'Malley fight too. And only being able to fight southpaw in this fight, I think also made it harder for him and
Oh yeah,
harder to
100%.
move around.
Yeah. I mean that's a fact. That low kick from Merab is probably, the best thing that he was able to do on the feet, keeping Yan in his stance where he's not as effective. And that's what made it so hard for Yan to land the right hand, is because he had to fight southpaw. His left hand is not as good. And like, I don't know, man. I just thought it was so sad to see Yan who look broken. Like, we've never seen anyone break him. And like, even Aldo in the third round, Cody Stamen, like a guy that, actually gave Merab a tougher fight than Yan, didn't look like that in the third. And Merab looked like he could have went 50 more rounds. He literally was ready for another 5-rounder. He's jumping around in Peter's face in the fourth round, and Peter's just like exhausted and tired. And I don't know, man. It really is disheartening for most fans because we all love Petr. And again, man, because Merab is associated with like being Aljo's bodyguard, it's just so hard to be in any way happy about the outcome. Sure, Merab's a hardworking like guy. He used to be a full-time construction worker at the start of his UFC career, which is like super difficult to like maintain a UFC career while being a full-time laborer. And he just, is a nice guy. He's probably a good friend, but like, man, does it suck also because his style is just not that fun to watch. And like, I do have to say, future matchups, him, think about it. Yan is 90% takedown defense, and his takedown defense was still good in this fight. Like, think about guys like O'Malley, like Chito Vera, Corey Sandhagen that don't have Jan's takedown defense at the top of the division. Like, sure, Merab might not be able to like hold them down and submit them, but if you're thinking that he does this to Petr, like, he's gonna really destroy these other guys too, because just the number one thing that I am impressed with Merab is you cannot get going. Like, O'Malley needs to like have his distance. He needs to get going. Same with Chito Vera. Like, these guys just aren't getting into a fight. And by the time the third, fourth round comes, they're going to be gassed. And like, if Petr is gassed in the third, these other guys are going to be too. And I know that like when Merab said, me and Aljo know who the real champion is, to me, that kind of made me believe that like, Aljo's getting his ass kicked in the training room and gassing out. Like, I'm sure Aljo's a better jiu-jitsu grappler, but like, dude, that pace is, and we've seen Aljo gas with Yan twice. You know what I mean?
Aljo, like, though, is if he takes someone down, it's done. Like,
yeah, but I bet it's hard for him to take Merab down, and I just think, like,
I mean,
Yan
took Merab down a couple times now.
That's true. I just think it's the pace. Like, at the end of the day, there's nothing that Merab does that's like just better than Yan, like with boxing, with kicking, with
Merab is just not that talented. He just has crazy pace.
It's just, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I'm like, I just have never seen this before, ever. Like
guys like Colby Covington who have good paces, they don't do nothing.
They don't even do this shit because Colby, the difference with Colby is Colby can control people on the ground. Colby can't get a bunch of takedowns stuffed and then break people. Colby needs to like,
I think
get you down and, that
was a good point that Sam made earlier about that. It kept shooting and kept having the energy to keep shooting when he wasn't taking him down. Like, that's the most. It's not tiring to like take people down. It's when you're like struggling to take people down, when you're not getting them down. Like, that's the most tiring thing. And he was continuously able to do that, like time and time out, and that's just insane to me. I've never seen anything like this. It's like a Tasmanian devil out there, truly.
Yeah, dude.
Like, that's the thing
But like, let's be honest, it's not like he was even beating Yan up that badly.
No, he didn't need to. Like, he didn't need to. You know what I mean? It's insane. I don't know. I think the only way you beat him is if you knock him out. You catch him.
He's got so much better in his last few fights. Like, he did not look like this a few years ago.
That's the only option. If you catch, that's the only way to beat him. You got to catch him. That's literally your only way.
Yeah.
You got to just catch him. I mean, Sean O'Malley, like, I think that's going to be the future matchup, because I think Aljo is going to lose to Cejudo. I think Cejudo's going to lose.
Cejudo gets beat by Merab.
But he's not going to fight Merab. He's going to lose.
Yeah, he won't. That's a nightmare.
He's going to lose to Sean, and I think then Sean's going to fight Merab and get fucking smoked.
Yeah, dude.
Then Merab will be champion for years to come. So
I just don't see how anyone in the UFC, let alone the bantamweight division, could keep up with his pace. I mean, it's out of this world. And it's one of those things where fighters make cardio their skill. Like
Yeah.
you look at Merab, and he isn't controlling these guys like you're saying, and people are defending his takedowns, but I mean, he's always on you, and he times a lot of stuff perfectly. He's very explosive with his takedowns. And I mean, it's just I'm still shocked because
Yeah.
we've never really seen someone do stuff like that to Yan. I mean, obviously there were rounds where Aljo really took it to Yan, but I think throughout that fight, it was close. Where in this fight, it never looked like Yan even got any sort of momentum. Like he would land like a hook or a jab here and there that would hardly even phase Merab. So it was really sad to see.
Yeah.
Is Merab the best bantamweight in the UFC?
Oh yeah, dude,
I
probably.
think so. Yeah.
It's sad to say it, but probably. And like I do have to also just go back on this. Like I just think that, if Jan took more risks, he would have done better. I'm not saying he would have won, but he literally did not go forward at all in this fight. At all. Like I never saw him go forward other than in the first.
Maybe Merab is.
Yeah, he probably does, bro.
Yeah, I think.
But still, like there was no moment where Jan was like,
I mean, Jan was
all right, let's see what happens.
There's moments where I saw,
but they were all counter shots and jabs. Like he just, you know what I mean? Like I feel like if you're down 3 rounds, you have to just go forward with reckless abandon.
You think he didn't want to get?
You have this. Maybe he was worried that Merab was going to KO him. Like
I mean, he
could have felt
some power in the earlier rounds too.
He definitely could have felt something. I mean, Merab was not scared of the boxing, bro.
No, he didn't give a fuck. It was just.
Do you think Merab is beating Aljo in the gym? Like
I don't know about that because I don't think he's going super hard like he does in fights.
Right.
You know what I mean,
but then again, in his fights, it's not like he's hurting anyone, so maybe he does the same thing in training.
But also, like when Aljo takes him down, like what do we think happens? Like though, you know what I mean? Like
I'm sure he has some success there. For sure.
Like that's the difference between him and Aljo. Like, I mean, Aljo, like, I mean, if he takes you down, it's done. Like, round's over, or the fight could be over. One of the two.
That's true.
But a Merab, I mean, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? He could take you down. If he does take you down, great. You know what I mean? He'll beat you up on the ground. If not, he's just gonna continue pressuring you. Like we saw an Aldo fight in this fight. It's just a shame. But I hope that Cejudo ends Aljo. I really hope. I hope he just fucking KOs him. I think he will, honestly. I'm confident about it. I don't know. We're not going to see Merab fight for a title for like another year and a half, probably, which is the worst thing about it. Like, I mean, like that's the thing is like, if you have a performance like that, like most of the time we'd be like, we want to see this guy fight for the belt and potentially become champion, but that's just not for like a year at least, which is the most annoying part about it,
It really sucks. Like, if Aljamain Sterling was the kind of guy that Merab was, he would probably like just vacate after Cejudo.
After Cejudo, yeah. But I think he's gonna lose, so I don't think it's gonna make a difference.
Yeah.
But then he still has to fight Sugar Sean.
Yeah, that's true. But like knowing Aljamain and his opportunities with Sugar Sean, like this is why we're upset because like Aljamain gets all the sexier matchups and Merab gets the toughest matchups, and the matchups that we actually really want to see Aljo fight.
Yeah.
That's what Merab is getting, and Merab's beating those guys.
We wanted to see Aldo,
Aljo, and Yan Aljo 3. That's like a dream fight that we'll never see it probably.
Yeah.
You guys think Yan leaves the UFC on his own accord now, or do you think he fights again in the UFC?
I think he fights again. I think they're just gonna be more cautious with who he fights. I mean, I think
you think they're gonna protect him, or you think they're gonna offer him to the hardest up and comers?
I think he's gonna fight the winner of Sanhagen Vera now. I think that's what they're gonna do. I think
that'd be a decent fight, but I'm just so worried about his confidence,
But that's the only option. It's that, or who else is what movements are happening in that division? Like not much. I mean, Yanez.
Yeah, you have Yanez and Font, and then you have Song Yadong and Ricky Simone. But like,
give him the winner of that. I mean,
yeah.
But I mean, I think Song Yadong is a young guy who could have a real future, and you don't really want to get him killed right away.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to get him.
I think it's also hard to give Petr Yan an easy matchup with the way that the division is.
The division's just so stacked.
There's not really. I think Jan would probably beat a lot of these guys, but again, you really don't know with this division because it's just full of killers.
I mean, we
Yeah,
thought
maybe
that
Jan
Merab
is
would
not
beat
even
Merab.
like a top 4 or 5 bantamweight. Like literally, I mean, if you're really thinking about it, like Jan's issue is just a lack of doing anything in his fights. Like he just doesn't let his hands go. And I was saying this about his first fight with Aljamain Sterling, because when you first see that fight, you're like, damn, dude, Jan kicked Aljo's ass. But I've rewatched it multiple times, and every time, dude, I'm looking at the fight and I'm saying, bro, like Jan is literally doing hardly anything other than stuff takedowns and find some sweeps on Aljo. He's really not doing anything himself. And the only fight in recent memory where Jan actually like was offensive was against Corey Sandhagen.
He fought a great fight.
Yeah, and of course, I'm Sean O'Malley, obviously too, but still, like against grapplers, he doesn't throw his hands, dude, and he needs to
I guess you
change
just
that,
can't
bro.
put him against a grappler anymore. At least for now.
But he just has such a slow style, man, and I feel like it's for
More of like a
for the
boxer.
top division.
He
I
fights
know,
exactly
dude.
like a
Like,
boxer, that's all. Like he fights like
but
someone
the
who
thing is, he
fights
doesn't
like a
box, bro.
boxer.
He's not even
Yeah,
like
he's an
fucking
MMA
boxes.
fighter. He's not a boxer. Like
Yeah.
you can't start slow in MMA. You just can't.
Yeah, dude. Like you need to. I feel like Jan is he overrated?
I mean,
He must be, because people were saying like he would have 100% beat Merab. Like, aren't we overrating him a little bit if he cannot in it, or is Merab just violently overlooked?
and then
You
but he also
know,
lost to Sugar Sean.
yeah,
Do you think he's overrated, Sammy?
I think that Merab is amazing. I don't think that Jan is
yeah,
overrated. I think he's stylistically, I mean, these were hard matchups for him. You have Sean O'Malley, a longer striker, who is an amazing striker too. I don't want to take anything away from Jan, but he was the shorter fighter, which is always really hard when you're striking. So, and especially, I mean, Jan is a kickboxer, but I think a lot of his success comes with his hands. So getting inside a guy like Sean O'Malley is really hard.
yeah,
But I think Merab, I don't think it's Jan being overrated. I think it's Merab. Just there's really not much that you can do in that fight. I mean, yes, you
yeah,
can throw hands more, but you're just going to get taken down. And I don't think, like you said, the result might not be that different. Maybe he would have
yeah.
gotten maybe one round, or we won't know, but there's not much I think he could have done to win that fight. And I think Merab really just wowed us with how much better his striking got too.
Yeah, I agree, man. I really think that Merab is just really goddamn good, and I hope that he can. I hope he figures it out, because at this point, like, what are we gonna have to see him beat 10 of the guys in the top 10, and Aljamain fight like 2 of them, and that's just it? Or, I mean, because think about it, Aljamain's gonna want to fight Sean O'Malley. That's a money fight for him.
But I mean, if he loses to Cejudo, this is almost done.
But like us as MMA fans, those good things haven't been happening. Like Merab was supposed to lose to Jan, and we didn't get that.
What if
So
Aljo got even better too?
that's the thing, dude. Aljo can keep getting better, and like Cejudo can come back looking a little old,
Yeah, I guess we just have to hope that Cejudo wins to start.
And if Aljo wins, what the fuck do you do with Merab? Like, because sure,
I don't think
like,
it makes a difference though, because I think Sean O'Malley would have fought it. Has the next title shot regardless.
but do you think they ever fight or no?
Who?
Merab and Aljo? No.
No, I mean they're never gonna fight. I think Aljo's gonna get knocked out by Cejudo.
I want to see them fight, dude. I really want to see Merab. Merab probably just dominates him.
But again, if Aljo takes him down, I think it's done.
Yeah, that's true. But like, I don't know, man. Aljo, I don't know if he'd be able to do it. Like,
I think if Petr Yan could take him down, I think Aljo could.
all right. I mean, that's fair. Aljo definitely
but
has a chance to submit anyone.
But Petr Yan also took down Aljo. Granted, it wasn't one of his best nights, but he still did it. Like, he has those really good trips. So.
And maybe Merab, from training with Aljo, knows how to not get subbed.
Yeah.
And maybe he just doesn't give Aljo a chance. Cause like, I just don't see anyone having success with him. And I like on the feet. Hey, he has improved. As I said, I saw Cody Stamen landing good shots on him. I saw, even Aldo landed some decent shots on him, but
He looked better than
man.
he did against Aldo too. Way better.
Yeah. And he honestly did look good against Aldo. People hated on him too much for that.
He
looked
boring.
good.
Yeah,
It was just a boring fight. He's definitely not the most entertaining fighter, that's for sure. Were you guys impressed with any other fights on the card?
I thought that was a great card, Yeah. I was impressed by Volkov a bit.
Volkov, he's a good gatekeeper.
Yeah, he is. Romanov quit.
Romanov just kind of
He's got to
accepted
get in the gym. He's got to start lifting. He's got to start doing.
Yeah, he's fat.
He's got to get on the Stairmaster. He's got to start doing 20 minutes of Stairmaster a couple times a week.
Absolutely.
Get down. He quit. He literally quit when he couldn't get that first takedown. That's pathetic. As a fighter, to quit after not getting your first takedown, like, give me a break. Like, yeah, I don't know if I should be impressed by Volkov or just like not impressed and embarrassed for Romanov.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's pathetic. But
I initially thought it was a IQ mistake for Volkov to like stay on the ground after stuffing the takedown, but it worked out in his favor. I was saying like, dude, what is he doing? He needs to get back up to his feet. But yeah, man, I honestly think that this just proves that heavyweight like does not have good grappling because, Romanov was seen as like a good grappler coming up. And I really think the only good grapplers are Curtis Blades, Jelton Almeida, Tom Aspinall, and John Jones. Everyone
How
else.
How do we know Curtis Blades is that good though? Now.
Well, he did dominate Volkov like for 5 rounds. Like he beat him. Well, he didn't beat him up badly, but he did beat him 50-45 or at least, I think it was like that. So, dude, I mean, like I was also impressed with Krylov. I thought Krylov would have won by KO, and they actually look good for light heavyweights on the ground. They look good on the ground.
Those were some good grappling exchanges, actually. I was going to talk about
they were
that one also. I mean, they were both like kind of trading positions, and one of the things that I was impressed with by Krylov was his speed on the ground, because it seemed like almost every time that Spann would get out of a dominant position by Krylov, Krylov would just jump on the next one and beat him to it. And a few of the announcers were talking about that too, and I was really impressed by that. And then another performance I think that was also really, really impressive was Davey Grant with that sweet reverse triangle choke. That was awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he got a point deducted before that happened too.
He was ready to lose the fight.
Yeah, he was really urgent and he dropped him twice. So like, he got like a spinning back fist drop, knockdown for the second knockdown and then just jumped right on the submission, bro. That was a great win from Davey Grant. He was actually like kind of losing the fight earlier on. So
Mario Batista,
I think Davey Grant's really good. Mario Batista with the submission over what was that guy's name? Chris, it's not Gutierrez. I forget his name.
But
let me look up his name.
Like a real problem. He looks like a real problem in the bantamweight division too.
Yeah, he does.
Saeed Nurmagomedov.
He's really good. He's really
pathetic, honestly. Saeed.
Yeah, I thought that was a robbery.
I lost a lot of money on that fight.
Did you guys think that was a robbery?
Yeah, I mean it wasn't.
I think it was bet on Saeed Nurmagomedov.
Yeah, I bet on him, so I was very upset. But still, like, you can't leave it up to like. The problem was, like, at the end of the fight, he was just letting him like hold him on the cage. You just can't do that. You can't.
But Saeed Nurmagomedov had like 2.5 minutes of control time, or 2 minutes of a. He tried to submit him, and he held him up against the fence, and he knocked him down in the beginning of the round.
I just think the judges. I think you just can't like you can't like show any laziness towards the end of the round, especially. Like you just can't afford it. You know what I mean? Like you can't hold the guy on the cage and just like knock it out of it. Judges don't like that at all. Like he wasn't
definitely don't like
that at all. He wasn't trying to get out at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the
no, that's true, but I still gave him I thought it was
I thought he won, but
I just did not. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that like you gotta at least try to get out of that. You know what I mean? Like that shows that you're like that you're cocky, arrogant, and whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like that. I don't think you should do it. But at the same time, I think the ref could have moved him away because he wasn't really doing much with the holding him on the wall on the cage.
But then again, like he did attempt to sub him.
He did have the sub, but that was at the end of the round. No, that was before that. That was So I mean, but that wasn't. I thought Saeed did more though that round. Yeah, I
Same.
thought it was. I thought he won that fight, but at the same time, like you can't just you can't let the guy just like hold you on the cage for the last couple minutes in a really close
Yeah.
fight. Like you just can't do that, you know. But yeah, that Mario Batista, I think it's a real problem in the bantamweight division for sure.
I thought it was a good card overall. There were like good fights on the card, but I'm happy there's a big card coming up next.
Is
UFC
it a big card though?
286. Oh, well, we can't. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. It isn't a big card, but they did
Oh, I'm so excited for I'm
tweak it.
so excited for to watch Marvin Vettori versus
Wait. Who is the new women's fight on the main card? Because there was a shit women's fight on the main card, but there's a new one. I saw it on ESPN Plus while watching the stream. Like, who do they add to the card?
Jennifer
a new
Maia
women's fight.
versus Casey O'Neill. Let's go. I'm looking forward.
Okay, yeah, it's Casey O'Neill. And listen, I feel like it's still the same shit. It's just these, one of them's a little nicer to look at is the only difference. That's the only difference. But
as gurus,
I just think it's a bit of a disgrace to put a fight like that where there's no stakes. There's like no value whatsoever other than we're going to do this because this is what we've done in the past. Like, we don't give a fuck about the Casey O'Neill fight. When you're in London, you need to take the guys that are up and comers, that are talented, that actually have some serious skills, like Muhammad Makayev, Nathaniel Wood, those kinds of guys that are from the UK, and you put them on the main card, right? They put Gunnar Nelson on the main card. Gunnar Nelson's a boring fighter. I never thought that they should have even had Gunnar Nelson fighting Daniel Rodriguez. I mean, that's not an exciting fight in my opinion.
Brian Barberena makes it a bit more entertaining, but still.
Oh, yeah, it's Brian Barberena filling in. But again, dude, I could just see Gunnar Nelson holding his back and it's just so hard to watch Gunnar Nelson. And then also on top of that, because Gunnar Nelson, I think he was like the co-main event to Tom Aspinall and Volkov, which really pissed me off because this fight sucked, dude. This fight was ass. And they just, there's something about the UK and Gunnar Nelson. Like, he's from Iceland and he trained with Conor back in the day. So I understand why he's on these European cards, but he's one of the most pound for pound boring fighters in the UFC. This card is like,
trash.
It's just such a bad card, like Paddy's not on it, what's his name? Tom Aspinall's not on it. Allen's not on it. Holloway and Allen could have been on it, and that would have been dope.
Yeah. Also, I mean, I'm not buying a pay-per-view to watch Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze. Like, I can care less about that fight.
I know that's like the opener of a pay-per-view, maybe a very weak fight night main event. That's like a 3-rounder
on a fight night
to headline the prelims.
Yeah. Pathetic.
I mean, Jesus, man.
Gaethje versus.
I mean, that would actually be.
Like,
listen, Marvin Vettori and Dolidze is like a solid fight for pay-per-view, but you need more of those.
A pay-per-view. I don't think. I mean, as the third best fight of a pay-per-view, it shouldn't be.
Yeah, I agree with that.
By the way,
but he's on the prelims. He's on the prelims, though.
He's on the prelims. And Nathaniel Wood, who's a really good UK prospect who just beat what's his name, Charles Jourdain.
Yeah,
who's also a really good 145er. He's on the prelims. Like, he's not even on the main card. And I just feel like, dude, you have this like the ability to have a bunch of good fights. And the thing that pisses me off the most is when you have a pay-per-view, it's supposed to be like a roller coaster. You start with the first fight. It's a great fight. It goes up. And then the main event is sick. And then you have the crash. But instead, it's like Vettori Dolidze,
which is not.
You have Gunnar Nelson and Barberena, which is boring ass fight. Then you have the women's fight, boring ass fight, starts to go down. You start questioning, like, dude, this is a pay-per-view. I'm supposed to be excited, but I'm half asleep. And here comes Fiziev and Gaethje, but I'm still half asleep. Then it's crazy, and then it's still crazy. But I feel like you need to have, a better pay-per-view overall.
It's UFC 284 all over again.
Yeah, dude, it is. Like, you have to literally trudge through shit.
And what are the chances the main event's going to be as good as Islam versus Volk? There's a very low chance.
Exactly. The main event literally might suck. And the only good fight on this card, I'm sure there's going to be a couple of scraps. But, I mean, dude, let's be honest. Like, there's probably only going to be like 3 good fights on the card total.
The only 2 fights I'm looking forward to are Gaethje Fiziev and Usman Edwards, which could be a very bad fight. Like Usman Edwards could be a very boring fight. Their last fight was real boring to me
Yeah, the last fight was not that great.
in their first
You
fight.
know, unless Edwards comes through with some ridiculous cardio and takedown defense that's better, it's going to be similar.
But
even
at the
if he
same
wins,
time,
it's going to be similar.
I just can't see Usman trying to strike much with him. So I think it could be really boring. But yeah, it's
Let me ask this question because like I want to also talk about the fights in general. Do you think this will? I think it'll sell more than UFC 284.
no, I don't think
Or
so.
wait. I'm talking UFC 283.
283.
It'll sell more than the Brazil card. You think?
It's gonna be better than 282, 283, but it's not gonna 284.
Yeah, UFC 284 was a big fight.
Yeah, Islam sells a lot of people.
285 obviously was bigger. Man, I just think that like you know, this
Hunter
is
Nelson
another
on a pay per view
conversation.
isn't drawing fucking
Yeah,
guys, you know.
I've just like started to think I can't get a pick to save my life this year. So who should I pick? Because I initially picked Usman for this fight, and then I rewatched it a few weeks ago, and I switched my pick to Edwards. But now I'm scared that if I pick Edwards and be like, oh, he outstruck him and he got the KO even on his worst night, like I just feel like whatever I do, I'm going to get it wrong. If I pick Usman, Edwards is going to prove me wrong again. And if I pick Edwards, like Usman's actually going to win this time,
Who do you got, Sammy?
So who do you guys think
I have a new take.
I'm like really torn. I just feel like I cannot get a pick these days. Like,
I have a new take.
Yeah,
I want Sammy to talk, and if you want to talk for it too.
No, I was just gonna say with it's so funny seeing you all over TikTok on like the John Jones edits.
I know, dude. Like, I mean, and it's not only that, bro. It's like even Yan now and Glover Teixeira to start the year off, and then Volk. Like, I got the pick right overall, but
you picked Islam.
I picked Islam, but still, like Volk. I talked a lot of shit. I said he was gonna get squashed and finished easily, and like I just can't get him right, dude. In the Yan fight, I was so confident. I'm like, this is the one that's not going to go badly, and it obviously went horribly the other way around. It wasn't even like a close fight. So I don't know, bro. I'm honestly real nervous about making this pick because, like, as I said, I watched a lot of Yan footage. I watched a lot of Merab footage, and that didn't help me at all. Like, I mean, I feel like Usman is like the good pick, but again, like I just think Edwards is the kind of guy to just knock him out again.
Yeah. I mean, this is a really hard pick because, it's also, do you take Leon Edwards' word that he was saying it was his worst night? It was one of his worst nights. His cardio.
Yeah,
he was also
wasn't great.
So he's obviously going to say it's one of his worst.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean? It's a little bit hard to believe someone that just got their ass beat for 4 rounds. But I think he has what it takes to win. But I think it's a lot of how we're going to see Usman fight, because I think a lot of Usman's confidence and fight style was just going forward all the time, being able to get in the pocket and jab, and throw a big right hand and digging to the body and clinching up and like smothering people on the cage. And I think when you just got knocked out by a guy standing in front of you, it's a little bit harder to do that. Even if you dominated him, you still know that he can knock you out. And coming into their first fight, Usman had all the confidence. Like, I don't think there was a single piece of his mind that he thought he was going to lose. I think he was fully confident. He had beaten him already. He was on a really large unbeaten streak, and Edwards hadn't knocked anyone out in about like 8 fights or something. So I think it's going to be a far different fight, but I still think that Usman is going to edge out a decision victory, but I think it will be closer than the first time.
Yeah,
so how? Wait, look, really quick. How many times do you think Edwards is going to hurt Usman? Like, do you think he's going to drop multiple times in this fight?
I don't think drop, but I think that he will hurt him a few times. And
got him.
And I think a lot of the fight depends upon if Usman is able to land those takedowns when he's hurt, because I think that Leon's going to look a lot more crisp and a lot have a better gas tank. So I think it's going to be, or Edwards is going to have more confidence. So I think he'll land better, and I think it'll be a far closer fight. But I think Usman will ultimately end up pressuring him and landing takedowns in the later rounds and kind of just smothering him at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting fight. I mean, it's really interesting. I've gone back and forth so many times for this fight, literally like 4 different times probably. And it's going to be interesting to see because I think Usman is 100% going to take this wrestling approach. He's going to really try to just focus on his wrestling. I don't think he's going to try to strike much with Leon at all.
Yeah.
And but it'd be interesting to see because what if Leon stops the first couple of takedowns? What happens then? Is Usman going to panic?
Usman doesn't have the Merab pressure either. Like he's got good pressure, but not the Merab pressure, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So if he struggles to get Leon down after the first couple takedowns, what is that going to do to him? You know what I mean? Is that going to kill his confidence? Is that going to make him freak out and just get knocked out? You know what I mean? It'll be interesting to see. But I ultimately think that Usman is going to win the fight by decision. That's my new prediction.
Oof.
I think
it's the very safe pick, bro, but it's the scary pick to make because it's like it's such a yeah. Continue.
It's I think it's a safe pick. I think Usman by decision is the safe pick. I don't think he can finish Leon. I think there's no chance. He doesn't have a submission game at all, Usman. He doesn't do much ground and pound. Sometimes he does, but not that much. He's not gonna KO him. Usman's a bad striker. I don't really think he's gonna do much on the feet. But I just think he's gonna be able to take him down a bunch. I think he's gonna be able to control him on the ground. Maybe not take him down a bunch, but I think he's gonna control him enough to win these rounds. And I think he's gonna win a 3-1 to 3-1. He's gonna win 3-1 in my opinion in rounds. I think Leon will probably win one round. Maybe not. He may go 50. It may be 50-45. Truly, I just can't see. I just don't know if I can see him winning more than one round, Leon.
Let me say this though. Let me say this. I've rewatched it, and there are just moments where Edwards stuns Usman. And there are moments of that in the first round, the third round, the second round, and of course the fifth round. The most dominant round was the fourth. But I'm telling you, man, every time they're in the middle of the octagon, and this is when Edwards is able to stuff a takedown here and there, he just finds a way to land shots through the guard of Usman. Usman will have his hands up and it's just right down the pipe, straight punches, super fast. And Usman just does not take these shots that well. And I feel like Edwards knows that headshot is there, that the kick is there. And if Usman's worried about that, I feel like the straight punchers are now going to give him issues because he's going to be worried about guarding here. But then the fucking straight punches right on the chin are going to come through. And I'm like, I could just see Edwards catching him again, dude.
But it all depends upon what Leon we see, though. At the end of the day,
it does, man. It does.
It doesn't matter about Usman. I don't think it matters about what Usman we see. It's not about that, in my opinion. I think it's just a matter of was Leon really affected by the air?
Who didn't? Who wasn't affected by the air? Merab.
Rob wasn't.
Yeah, dude. Wait, this was UFC 277.
I guess they're on the same 270.
278.
I guess
I'm going to read off some of the other fights. Let's read off a couple of the others. I feel like there were some other ones.
That's actually so funny.
Jared Gordon, round 3. Did everyone gas? I feel like Jared Gordon didn't gas on that card. I don't really remember that many fights. I just remember Merab didn't gas. Costa and Rockhold gassed.
Oh, big gas, big time.
How much did the elevation play into it?
That's the question. Because he's not going to be able to, if he's getting taken down with ease like he was in the last fight, he's going to lose. But if he's stuffing takedowns and if it truly affected him, he's going to win the fight. So it's just so hard to predict because I think the elevation maybe affected a little bit, but I don't think it affected enough to really the outcome would I still think Usman's probably going to be able to take him down, and control him on the ground. But
what about his chin?
I don't think it's gonna but at the same time, I'm so back and forth on this pick, but I think the safe pick and what I'm gonna be picking is Usman by decision. But at the same time, Usman struggles against these he literally think about Usman, he's a bad striker. He's a bad striker. He doesn't have a submission game, doesn't have much ground and pound. So if Usman struggles in any way to take Leon down, he's gonna get fucked up. Like, truly, he's gonna get fucked up. So it's really hard to predict, but I think he won't struggle that much to take him down. You know, I think Leon will be a
We'll be
little
able to
bit better.
control him and gas him a little bit.
I think Leon will be a little bit better than last fight. You know what I mean? Up until the headshot or whatever. I think he's gonna be better than that, but I don't think he's gonna be good enough to beat like fully like beat Usman again. You know what I mean? I just don't. But at the same time, like Usman, like was Usman that great though? Like looking like we don't know.
Usman didn't even look that amazing in front of Edwards. Like he really did not look like a great striker. And
I just don't like he fought the same guys. Like he fought
Colby. We did destroy Gilbert Burns.
But this is what we got to remember. Like with Usman, like his whole like career, he fought Tyron Woodley. Like the argument could be that Tyron Woodley was done.
I mean, he was still a champ though. I feel like that's so unfair to say.
Yeah, I mean that was a very impressive win.
That's like the same thing as Merab beating Yan. It's like it's easy to say Yan is done if he loses a couple more fights, but now you can't really say that.
That's a tough one. But
and he did destroy some guys coming up. Like he beat RDA really badly. He beat a bunch of good guys.
But at the same time, we don't know, like, was Colby really that great? Masvidal, we know, was not that great. You know what I mean? Like, so like, who knows? Like, once he goes against Leon, like this Leon who maybe isn't affected, maybe the altitude really did affect him. Maybe Leon's a better fighter.
I think the altitude did affect him though, because if you look at
I think it definitely affects him a little bit, but I don't know if it's gonna really like
yeah, but you look at the Merab fight, and that was against Aldo, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and in that fight, by the third round, it did look like Merab was slowing down a little bit. I don't think that his pace in the third round of that fight was close to his pace in the fourth and fifth round of this fight.
That's a fact.
You know, when you look at that and look at the cardio machine that Merab has shown to be now, it kind of does make me think that the altitude is worse than like expected. And I don't know like all the geography with the UK and where Leon is training, but I mean, like the altitude is very high in Colorado. So I think that when you look at the Merab fight and the other people on that card,
it was in Utah, by the way.
Them gassed out. So
yeah, Utah. But Usman also trains in Colorado for his training camps. So you guys think Usman is probably? I mean, listen, if I was in Usman's corner and I was his coach, I would. Dude. Like, should I just take him?
Dude, I'm telling you.
I mean,
I watched the fight back, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, Edwards had moments, you know, good moments, and then he found the knockout.
Lucas, I think you got to listen to me on this one.
I mean,
all right, I might listen to you on this one, bro.
I think
okay, but here's the thing.
Honestly, this could be your big break, though, Lucas.
I know this could be my big breakthrough, but again, dude, if I pick Usman, which is like the smart pick, I feel like I'm just gonna, dude. I feel like whatever way I go, it's gonna be wrong.
The thing is, though, I'm gonna tell, like, honestly, like, what's gonna happen in the next couple of fights. Like, honestly, like, what I could literally, like, I really think
Pereira is gonna knock out Adesanya.
Pereira is gonna beat Adesanya.
I think we all agree on that.
I think Usman's gonna beat Edwards, but Pereira is gonna beat Adesanya. That's what I think. Because,
but like, what could happen is it could be the other way around. Like, Edwards
at the same time, we gotta remember though, is this is how I think we need to look at it. Is like, who did better other than those moments that they had?
Yeah, that's true.
Pereira did better.
Usman had much more moments.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Pereira, like the adjustments, like, are easier.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And also, Izzy just started slowing down massively.
Yeah. Also, we got to remember Pereira beat him a couple times already.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I want, like, I've been so back and forth, but I just think the safe pick is Usman. I think Usman's got it. I think he's got it. I think he's going to win a close decision, or maybe not close. I think he's going to win a decision 100%. Like, I'm actually, I'm pretty confident. I would say I'm pretty confident. Yeah. I would say I'm pretty confident.
You guys might have me convinced to pick him. You know, I'm definitely going to rewatch the fights a couple of more times.
Too.
Yeah.
He's got great cardio. Like, I just don't think it's going to come down to stuff like his chin. I just think Leon is going to get taken down. I think he's going to get controlled on the ground.
So you think Usman's just going to stick to him like glue?
I think Usman's going to complete.
That's the smart game plan for him.
I think Usman's not going to take chances this fight. I think he's going to.
He's got to fight him like he fought Masvidal the first time.
I think he's going to make it real boring, and I think he's going to win a decision. I think
that's what he should do. That's what he should do.
Crowd's going to boo like crazy. Leon's going to just like be like disappointed and stuff like that. I could just see it. I think maybe we'll see Hamzat against Usman. Who knows? But I don't know who I want. Who do you guys want to win though? Like I don't.
I want whoever I pick to win. That's the fucking truthful answer. I want, if I pick Usman the whole week, I'm going to be praying that Usman wins. I'm just going to be 100% real. But right now, if I just said it, like, who would be cooler? It'd definitely be cooler if Edwards won. Usman is almost on the way out. Edwards is still in the, just getting started.
What would be better, a fight between Chimaev and Usman or Chimaev and Edwards? I think Chimaev and Usman.
Oh yeah, definitely Usman and Chimaev.
That's what we have to think
about.
But
Chimaev says he's getting ready for 85. This is what I don't like about Chimaev.
I'm telling you, after this week, Chimaev's going to be back to 70.
Maybe.
He's gonna see this fight. He's gonna see how much better he is than these guys. He's gonna see an opportunity. I think this Ramadan's gonna help him. I think could lose some weight during this time.
Yeah.
Who knows? Also, I think Chimaev is not going anywhere. I think he's gonna stay in 170. I think they're gonna give him another chance, and I think he's gonna win. I think he's gonna win the belt. I do. But does Usman have a chance of retiring? Do you guys think?
If he gets KO'd.
But what if he wins? Do you see him retiring? I think I could.
I could, yeah.
I could also. I mean, I think when you have two people like Shavkat and Chimaev,
you don't want to fight any of those guys.
And you've already done so much for the sport. Like with Usman, he's had although there are questions about the contenders he fought against, regardless, he still had really a lot of title defenses, one of the longest unbeaten streaks in the UFC. So I think if he decides to retire at this point, yes, it's going to leave some questions, but he'll be regarded in a way that is probably better than if he were to get ragdolled by Khamzat or just KO'd by Shavkat. So
yeah, I agree.
I think his best option would be to retire, but again, he's a fighter. These guys are fighters and they love to fight. So
yeah,
I could definitely see him not wanting to go out on a high note and take as much take as much money and also fight as much as possible until he can't anymore. So no, I don't think it'd be a bad idea for him to retire, but I don't think that he will.
No, I think so too. I feel like there's a good chance, but I think it's like 50-50, honestly.
I don't know if he's gonna retire after the fight. I think it'd be more something that he retires in the coming weeks after. He'd be like, I took the time to think about this, and I think this is it. Yeah. I hope he doesn't retire. Because I think a fight with him and Khamzat, I would love to see. But at the same time, if he does lose to Khamzat, is that really the end of the world though? Like, this is an older Usman at this point. He will have had 5 title defenses. He would have avenged his loss. He would still be the second best welterweight of all time. You know what I mean? So, I don't know if it is the end of the world if he does lose to a killer like Chimaev or Shavkat. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. He still has a really good legacy,
Yeah, I don't know if it does hurt. But and then if he wins, that continues his legacy even more. I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see. I don't really hate Usman at all. Looking back, he had a fun championship run. You know what I mean?
Run, yeah.
He had a bit fun. Besides the Leon fight, that was the only fight that was a little bit, and the first Masvidal fight. But the first Colby fight, amazing. The Burns fight, amazing. The second Colby fight, amazing. The second Masvidal fight. So he had 4 of his 6 title fights. Great. 7 title fights were great. That's Adesanya. Let's look at Adesanya. He had 2 amazing Pereira too. But half of his title fights are just super boring, and so I really appreciate that from Usman. So I can't really hate on the guy. In terms of who I want to win, it's a tough one. For me, I don't know who I want to win. I really don't. I have no idea. Maybe whoever I bet on.
I'm cool with who. Wait, did you bet on Merab and Yan?
No.
Too risky. Damn.
Too risky.
Dude.
I lost in Saeed. I won it back from Krylov, and I was done.
Okay.
I was done for the night. Next week, I'm probably gonna be betting on Usman by decision.
All right, dude. That's risky, man.
I think I'm gonna do it. It is risky, but it's kind of the safest pick, though.
What about Fiziev? You don't think Fiziev's a safe pick? I feel like Fiziev's a pretty good lock just because like
he's minus 2 something. Like I
okay,
don't
yeah.
I'd rather take a. Oh, I mean, that's actually not a bad pick. Actually, I think you could throw a lot on Fiziev. And
I mean, Fiziev's a better kicker. He's a better striker. Like, what does Justin Gaethje do better than Fiziev other than maybe, just maybe, have a little bit better cardio and output?
Not even.
Fiziev doesn't have the best cardio.
But at the same time, like you just can't fight how Gaethje fights against Fiziev. You just
that's
can't.
true.
Like he's gonna get fucked up. Like this Justin Gaethje better be the best Justin Gaethje we've ever seen, or else he's gonna get fucking.
Because he doesn't have to, Fiziev doesn't have to worry about takedowns.
Fiziev's gonna.
But to be honest,
him
he didn't have to worry about takedowns against Brad Riddell, and it took him until the
but
last
he's gotten better. He's young.
That's true. That's
he's
true.
27. You know what I mean? Like I don't think
he's only 27.
He's also, we got to look at Merab. Like, remember what we said about Merab? Like he really beat guys like whoever, and he got better. Fighters.
Yeah, Fiziev's 30, but he just turned 30. March 5th.
That's still like, when did he fight? He fought
Gaethje's what, 34, 35?
Yeah, he's taking a lot of
he's 34.
He got knocked out.
Dude,
he's also taking a lot of damage.
Gaethje got dropped badly. He took damage in the Charles fight.
When is the last time he got dropped in the first round? He never would get dropped in the first round until that Oliveira fight. Like his chin could just be done. I just can't see Justin Gaethje fighting the way he always fights and beating fucking like. How is he going to beat Fiziev? Like, what is he going to do to beat him? Like, seriously,
he has to just, what he has to do? He has to just drag him into a fucking bloody war for like 3 rounds, and Fiziev just has to gas.
How is Fiziev's not going to gas in like?
But Fiziev gassed against Bobby Green, bro.
But he gets better though. You gotta remember. But then again, he lost the first. He still won that fight. So like Gaethje,
true.
He's not going to gas.
But this is, I feel like Gaethje's a tougher Bobby Green. Bobby Green's a different style.
I don't know. I think if Bobby Green fought Justin Gaethje, I think Bobby Green would have a real chance of beating him.
Yeah, he would. He would legit have a
Bobby
chance.
Green's a great boxer.
He is.
Great boxer.
Dober just has a fire hydrant.
Yeah, Dober's just different level. Dober's got some.
Yeah, Dober's just a fucking different guy.
Yeah. No, but no. So So we're gonna have to see a completely different like Gaethje that we've never seen. I can't count on that. You know what I mean? I just can't.
Yeah.
Like I think he's gonna flatline KO Gaethje.
Yeah, but with what, his hands, a kick, a head kick? I think he's gonna hit him with a head kick, bro. I think he's gonna catch him with a nasty head kick.
You think so?
Yeah, dude. I feel like he's gonna get him with like a Whitaker combo, like a right hand into a head kick, or maybe just maybe like a knee up the middle.
I think it might be a knee.
Yeah, like a knee.
Gaethje a lot of the time
dips his head,
starts throwing like this.
I think he's getting hit with a hook. I think
he's gonna get hit with something
regardless,
big.
I think he's gonna get knocked out.
But I think the first round though will be a scrap. I feel like we're gonna get a scrap though.
You can't.
Like, Gaethje's gonna land some shots, bro. I've never seen Gaethje not land some. Like
he's gonna get knocked down in the first round. You think?
No. So maybe.
But you can't do that against that's.
I think he's going into this knowing that like Fiziev's a super legit striker, and I think that like we have to look at Gaethje's past few fights. Like with Charles, I feel like Gaethje getting sucked into a war was because of Charles. You know what I mean? Like Charles's whole fucking style was to bring you into a war at the time. Like Gaethje was different against, and Chandler too. Chandler did the same thing with Gaethje, but before that we had Gaethje, Tony. More patient Gaethje. We had Gaethje and Cerrone. More patient Gaethje, Edson Barboza, even Habib. It was Habib that was going forward. Fiziev is, if anything, like a guy that can stay reserved these days. And I think that like it's going to be a little more of a feeling out process than the past few Gaethje fights. And I think it's not going to be until like the second round to where like there's really like those crazy exchanges. But I think we're going to get a good scrap. I think it's going to be a second or third round KO for Rafael.
I think it's going to be hard for Gaethje to get inside without having to take really big strikes, because like Justin Gaethje has low kicks, but he doesn't really throw many like kicks to the body and kicks to the head,
Yeah.
whereas Fiziev can throw all sorts of roundhouses and front kicks and
Yeah.
knees, and his clinch game is better. And I mean,
Yeah.
there's not really many places where Gaethje is a better fighter besides maybe the fact that he can go to war. But again, I think skill for skill, like everything is pointing to Fiziev either getting a knockout or piecing him up.
Yeah.
Pretty much 3
Calf
rounds.
kicks could be a huge factor. That's what Gaethje needs to stick to. He needs to.
Yeah, he needs to go with it. But again, dude, Fiziev's trained in Muay Thai for a lot. He could just check him.
Yeah.
And that's what Charles did to him. He checked his kicks.
He may hurt a lot.
That's the thing. He slowed him down, checked his
pressure
kicks.
Gaethje puts onto those kicks, that could really
Yeah.
hurt. But
I mean, like we have to think about Gaethje's wins. Like Tony was declining, and Tony was never known to be like the best striker.
You got
You know
hit
what I
a
mean?
lot. You got hit a lot too.
Yeah. And even against like Cowboy, I mean, that was Cowboy and Edson Barboza. Like I just am not that impressed with Gaethje's wins. Michael Chandler was a good win. I'll give him that. But again, it's low IQ Mike. Mike has the potential to win those fights. And I think that Fiziev is definitely a smarter striker. I just think that this dude is like legit. I feel like the most legit prospects of 155 are Fiziev, Turner, and Sarukian. You know,
I mean,
but I feel like Fiziev and Turner have a higher ceiling than Sarukian and Gamrot, which I feel like the strikers in that division have a higher ceiling than.
But at the
Sarukian
same, and Fiziev's a great takedown defense too.
Yeah, exactly that too.
Like, dude, like we saw what Volk did to Islam, and what if Fiziev is this great take? What if Fiziev's actually does have this great takedown defense? He's only getting better at it. Like I
feel like, you know, hey, we might see him look like an improved Alexander Volkanovski who's big, you know?
He's got more power than Volk.
Way more power. More power.
Maybe he could be the guy to beat Islam. Who knows?
He could be, because the thing is, like, I prefer his style against Islam versus, like, you know, we have to see him tested with the takedown defense, but I prefer his style versus Islam versus Edwards and Usman, because Fiziev's a more like vicious striker. He throws everything with real, like, he's just you know, we often see grapplers getting the better of strikers because they have the threat of the takedown. I feel like Fiziev wouldn't give them that. I feel like Fiziev would just strike as if it's just a normal fight.
Because he has good takedowns.
He's like, so, and also because he's just so fast and explosive. And I like, you have to react to his strikes. Like, you have to put your guard up when he throws.
So maybe he can knock out Islam.
Maybe he could be the guy, dude.
Islam has these bad weight cuts.
Yeah.
Who knows? Like,
yeah, I agree. I think there's, especially after that Volk fight, I think Fiziev was really like enjoyed that, because when you stuff Islam's takedowns, granted he's a great striker, but
not like,
I mean,
Volk doesn't have that power.
Was really getting some great exchanges with him. And I think Dariush, I also would like to see versus Islam. I think that fight with Volk actually made the division a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
At the same time about that fight, like, I don't want to talk too much about this as we're talking about the card, but I don't think Dariush has a big chance against Islam. I think it's going to be a striking battle. I think the grappling will cancel out. And I think Islam is just a way better striker overall. So
Dariush just doesn't have enough options on the feet.
Yeah, I think Islam's going to beat him. So I don't even like. Yeah, I'm not even like.
If Dariush beats Islam, then like MMA is just completely unpredictable.
I could just
like, you know what
I mean? I think Fiziev is the only guy who's got a real chance of beating Islam. Unless Volk maybe.
Yeah, I think it's one of the, you know, Volk. I honestly don't ever think Volk and Islam will fight again. That's what I think.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
it's just too good to be true.
There's no reason. I mean, there is reason, but
there's a reason, bro.
Yeah,
don't be running from Volk, bro. We know.
I think at the same time though, Fiziev knocks Gaethje the fuck out.
Yeah, I think so. What about after? Who does Fiziev fight after? Does he fight Arman?
No, so this is the
Dustin?
thing though. It really depends upon what happens with Charles. Because if Charles beats if Charles beats Dariush, Fiziev beats Gaethje, Fiziev's getting the title shot, not Charles.
Yeah, that's true.
Fiziev will fight in Abu Dhabi in October. He'd fight Islam in Abu Dhabi in October. So it really depends. But I think if Gaethje, if Fiziev beats Gaethje, and then
you think he fights the winner of Beneil and Charles?
I think the UFC. And if Charles beats If
Oh, you mean
Charles
you
loses
think
to
he'll fight the loser of that fight?
I don't necessarily. He may fight Poirier, but I think the thing is though is like if Beneil beats Charles, I think he's getting a title shot no matter what. So I just
Yeah, I
think if
agree.
Charles wins, they're gonna give it to Gage. They're gonna give it
They'll
to
do Beneil versus Fiziev.
No, I think they're gonna do Fiziev is gonna fight for the belt. And that'll be it.
Oh, okay.
Because like they want new
So
blood.
you think Charles? You don't think the UFC is gonna jump at the opportunity to give Charles a rematch?
No, not at all. I
But
don't
that's
think
a big fight.
but like we saw what happened. I don't see the outcome being any different. Like I don't.
I understand that, but like
Fiziev is
nonetheless,
a
dude, if
younger
Charles
guy.
looks like he has a chin again, like that could look different. All I'm saying is, I feel like it would be a crime to make Charles win 2 fights to get
He
a
may
title
not
shot.
even win both. Like I mean, like he could maybe stay around, like just wait.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
I
You know,
just
I just want to see either
Who would you
Charles
rather see
or Volk fight again.
Fiziev fight? Would you rather see Fiziev fight Islam again or Charles fight Islam again? I
Oh,
think I'd rather
Fiziev.
Fiziev.
Fiziev, if I have a realistic chance of a good upset, but I still want to see Charles. Like they're the 3 guys that I want to see.
I just feel like I'm gonna get hurt again.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna get sad again.
I mean that's true, but I wouldn't pick Charles. So I'd pick Islam, and I'd be happy if I got it wrong. You know.
Yeah. But at the same time, it would still kind of suck to get it right because it's Charles, you know.
I mean that's true. And another thing I have to say is that if there are 3 guys I want to see get a title shot and fight Islam, it's Volk number 1. I need to see that again. Number 2, it would definitely be Fiziev, just based on his style. Number 3 would probably be I'm trying to think. Like I honestly feel like it's probably Sarukian, or I feel like I don't know, man. I feel like I kind of prefer Beneil's grappling to Sarukian's. Like I think Beneil's a little trickier on the ground. I like his scrambles a little more. I think Beneil actually.
If Sarukian fights Beneil, I think Beneil beats him.
I think so too, because
So
he has I feel like I value someone who can throw hands more than, and he also has some kicks too, Beneil. I value a guy who has like okay kicks and good power in his hands and who's quick and explosive versus a guy that has good kicks but like really bad hands and pillow hands. And Sarukian doesn't necessarily have pillow hands, but his boxing is trash and he's just got the kicking game. And I feel like Beneil Dariush would just catch him, bro. I just think he would catch him on the feet and just give him no chance to have success with the kicks.
If it comes to, I just don't see Sarukian being able to take him down. I think
I don't either. I feel like he would have to strike, and maybe he could outkick him, but like
he's gonna get.
Beneil's got some good kicks too.
He's gonna get his face fucked up. Like he's gonna his face will be completely bruised up, and Gamrot couldn't. Like,
so do you think that Sarukian is like okay, out of if you're gonna have to choose 2 future champs for lightweight, could be Charles, could be Volk, could be anyone. Who are your top 2 picks?
I think Fiziev and
What about you, Sammy?
I think Fiziev also, but I mean, I don't know if Dariush has the capability to beat Islam because Dariush relies on a lot of like big shots and these kind of crazy exchanges where both guys are hurting or throwing a lot. And I don't think that Islam would put himself in those positions with Dariush.
Yeah.
And I think it would be he would outpoint him. So I don't know if I'd want to see that. I don't know if Dariush would be able to beat him. I think Oliveira, it's really a coin toss. It depends upon his chin a lot. But I'd say the 2 ones that I'm most confident in is Fiziev and Sarukian. I don't see Gamrot beating him. I think Sarukian would have the best chance because they had a competitive fight before.
How does he beat Islam though?
Yeah, how does Sarukian beat Islam?
I mean, I don't know. I think he has to have a really good night. He has to have a really good night. But
I think he's the best chance
don't
of keeping
see anyone else who can get even close. I don't think that Sarukian really would, but the only person I really could actually see beating Islam is Fiziev. Other than that, I think a lot of them are
and Charles on a good night, maybe.
I think more of them are just hoping that they could beat Islam. I don't think it's being confident. I think if any of us are saying that Charles is going to win their rematch, I think it's just
Yeah.
us hoping that Charles makes some sort of massive change.
What
And
about
has,
Volk? Because I feel like Volk could literally beat Islam again.
I don't think so.
Notice how I said again, because I think he beat him the first time.
I don't know. I
Like
think
think about Volk's adjustments. Like Volk, he
He's also
just
getting
needs to
older.
be. He's getting older, but like if they turn it around, Volk, if he doesn't fight scared of the takedown because he's confident that he can get up, I feel like he would do way better on the
Because
feet.
also the
And
crowd really
Islam can't. I feel like Islam couldn't do much better than he did in the first fight.
I
I
think
think
he could do a lot better. I think
I
Islam
think
could do a
if
lot
he
better.
has Khabib in his corner, he'll do a lot better. I think a lot of the like adjustments that Islam would make many times, and you saw like Khabib coaching him to submission wins and all of this. And I think we can't forget about that. This was his first fight without Khabib in the corner with him. So I think
But then again, he's still at Javier Mendez, and I feel like Mendez is. I've seen Habib cornering people, and he just screams, whereas Mendez is like always the guy who's
Mendez
actually
is a
giving
striker,
advice.
though. Mendez is a
Habib,
striker,
Habib
coach,
is
though.
just the kind. I don't know. I feel like Volk would be like laughing at him even harder this time.
But Volk also was in his home territory. Like that makes a big difference. Like,
and Islam had a bad weight cut.
but I mean, is Islam gonna have a good weight cut from now on though? Like that's what we gotta realize though.
That's another thing, bro.
Like Islam is fucking always gonna have a bad weight cut. You know what I mean? Like that's I don't
Yeah,
think
he's a big guy.
but at the same time though, I do have to say though, is like he did have a lot less time to rehydrate. So that could be a factor. But and I think
But Volk, you have to remember, dude. Volk, like he had a lot less time to eat up too, bro.
but
He
he was
couldn't Volk.
already he didn't need to cut as much weight though.
I know.
But at the same time, though,
gosh,
it's like Volk is gonna start declining at some point. Like, you know what I mean?
what if Volk is just built different, dude? Because he clearly is based on the Islam performance. He's a fucking freak, bro. Volk is like Merab, dude. He's like Jones and Merab.
I don't know. Jones, I mean, Merab's now in the.
I don't think those are three people.
Merab's now in the Mount
You
Rushmore.
snuck Merab in there.
Yeah, I snuck Merab in there.
Snuck Merab in there. Merab's
Yeah.
one of the goats. But no. So I don't know. I think Islam's gonna be better by then. I think he's gonna be still young. Not young, but he's still younger. I think Volk is gonna. How old is Volk gonna be if they rematch? He's gonna be over 36.
35, 36, maybe.
Just-
35 if they do it like within the next year. He's
How-
34,
That's
but
gonna
he's
be
a young
hard-
he's a young 34.
But that's a hard fight to make too, because there's gonna be so much happening in these divisions. Like, what if
But
Allen?
let's say Volk beats Yair and like dominates.
What
him.
if Allen? What if Allen fucking knocks out Holloway? They're
Well,
gonna
then,
do it
of course. But like, what if Volk beats both of them? Then you have to let him move
But then
up.
at that point,
I
it's
think
gonna be like
If
by
he
that
beats
time,
both of them,
he's
you gotta let him
37.
move up.
he's gonna
Yeah,
be
but like,
37.
he'll be Volk. You know Volk, dude. Volk wants to fight like 4 times a
Yeah.
year.
But,
He's
like,
not gonna wait till he's 37. Like he's gonna fight. Volk will
That's
fight
true.
Yair this summer, and he will fight again in the winter or the late fall.
I
Like he
just
will
think that-
definitely fight 2 more times this year.
I just think that it's so hard to like make a change like that because they have to do an interim bout likely. You know what I mean? I don't know if the UFC
I think
wants to do-
Islam's running, dude. The fans want to see it. It really pisses me off because like
I don't think he's
I
running.
honestly just think
He's not. You
I
can't
think
do
he
it.
is, dude.
You can't do
Because
an
if he
immediate rematch. You
Islam
can't do-
Islam knows that like, you know,
I-
most
but how can
people
you
want to
do
see it
it?
again and he's
How-
not. What's up?
How can you do an immediate rematch though? Yair is the interim champion. Like you can't.
But they've actually done that before. I'm pretty sure they've done that in the I think they've done that before with like Max or something, like Max and Pettis or something. Like I think Pettis was the interim champ.
No, because Pettis.
I don't remember.
Pettis missed weight.
Oh, yeah. It was like Aldo fighting it was like Max beat Pettis and then Aldo fought Connor at the time and like that's what happened. And then Max had like defended his interim. I don't remember. It was something along those lines. But there has been an interim champ that's defended.
But he's not Connor though, so it's a little.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, but nonetheless, like, okay, if you don't think Volk, how many more title defenses do you think he gets?
It's not about that. Like I just think that it's so this champion versus champion stuff. It's so hard to make. It sometimes could be just a once in a career opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like
But you don't think Volk will ever just vacate? Like he
He's
could
gonna
just
have to
vacate.
vacate. He's gonna have to vacate. He's not gonna
That's
be
what I
able
mean.
to, like.
I could totally see Volk
But
beating
why do you
Yair and
vacate?
then leaving the
What's
division forever.
what's the point of vacating if you could just continue stacking up wins?
Maybe if that's the only way he gets the fight.
But what's more important,
I could see that
continuing
happening.
winning? What's more important, continuing getting title defenses or fighting Islam? And
For
maybe,
Volk, if you're in Volk's mind, it's probably being a lightweight champ.
Yeah.
but there's so
Confident enough
much
to
more
do
of a
it.
risk, though.
It is a big risk.
I wouldn't do it. I would continue stacking up these featherweight. But I mean, we said that from the start, though. So we're obviously not.
Yeah.
Voting, but,
Dude, Merab might literally go down as like the bantamweight goat if he just continues.
No, he's gonna be, by the time he's champ, he's gonna be old. You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna,
Yeah,
like.
he'll be 40 years old by then.
Yeah. So no, but I think the guy who's the best chance of beating Islam is I mean, it's Fiziev. I think Fiziev for sure. I mean, like, we saw Volk.
What
I
if
mean,
Fiziev really struggles badly against Gaethje and like
I just
goes
can't
to
see it.
war?
But I don't think that makes a difference. I don't know if that really.
So you think that if he goes to war with Gaethje, you're still gonna pick him to like be the guy? Like if he like wins a decision
fight,
that's
though.
like a just scrap of the year.
But it's a different fight, though, because Fiziev's known for this takedown defense.
But again, I feel like Islam, if anything, would also give Gaethje issues on the feet. Islam's a good striker.
It's true. That is true. But
Rather the takedown and the good striking. And I feel like if Gaethje gives him a war, that means Fiziev's not the guy.
But what kind of war would it be, though? Like would it be a war where like Fiziev is up 3-0, or would it be a war where it's like a very close decision? You know what I mean?
Like a close decision.
Then that's
like a Burns Hamza.
No, that wasn't that close. I mean, I thought Hamza clearly won.
I mean, it was close, dude. It was close.
It was definitely close.
Hamza kind of stopped caring at the end of the fight because he knew like he did enough. But and then Burns did some stuff, but I don't know. I think there would be some concern, I would say, because I think this could be an entertaining fight. Like, I could see this being an entertaining fight, and maybe
it's gonna be an entertaining fight. I think it will be for sure.
I want Fiziev to be the next champion, straight up. That's what I want to see. Him as a champion would be so entertaining.
So soon we're gonna have Fiziev, Merab, like all the Eastern Europeans and no fucking Americans, except for Jones, of course. Jones and Aljo.
Will be retired. Jones will be retired. But no, I mean, I think Fiziev definitely is the best chance of beating Islam. I think he just needs to start training with Craig Jones. After he beats Justin Gaethje, start training with Craig Jones right away. That's the game plan. Get your fucking wrestling good. You already have the takedown defense well. Improve your wrestling, improve getting up. And I think he could maybe win. Who would I pick? I'd probably pick Islam, but that's the guy who I would like be the least shocked if he beats Islam.
Yeah.
Like, if Dariush beats Islam, I'm shocked. Like, I'm beyond shocked. Like how would he beat Islam? Like, that's like
I think he would have to just KO him.
And that's so hard to imagine because of how good Islam's defense is. Like, I don't know. But yeah.
So what about Charles and Dariush? Sammy, I don't know who you're picking there. Who you got?
Like, my heart like says Charles, but it's one of those things where there's a lot of questions around Charles after what happened, and will his chin be better? Maybe, but I think if there's a guy to knock him down and ground and pound and compete with him on the ground to win, it's Dariush. And I think Dariush is going to win, but I think it's regardless going to be a competitive fight. But I don't really see Charles winning unless he throws up a submission, which is always possible. But it's really hard for me to pick Charles in this matchup, and it hurts me to say, but I think Dariush is going to win.
Same.
Damn. I think Dariush is going to win too. I just think that Charles, it just seems like it's going to be a Tony Ferguson-like downfall. There's no way around. I just think this guy's chin is just done. And like,
he doesn't move his head either, which doesn't help.
You put him against another guy who's like amazing on the ground too. like who's got a lot of power, like it's set up for just like a disaster. You know what I mean?
Who would you pick right now if they were to fight again, Poirier or Charles? That'd be
Charles.
a really good fight.
I think
You'd still
Charles.
pick Charles, yeah.
I think
Yeah, I
still
think so.
Charles.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
I
his
think
clinch was just
Yeah,
like
he's got a great,
killing.
it's just
great
gonna
in the
be so
clinch.
interesting how Charles fights now. You know what I mean? Like it'll be interesting to see what he's like.
Poirier is also one-dimensional. I think.
Dude,
Poirier
imagine
is
if
very
Poirier just
one-dimensional.
walks Beneil down like he's done everyone else except for
Poirier,
Islam. Like he just goes right in his face.
Charles
Yeah, imagine if he just
would
literally
happen.
just fights him like he did Gagey. Like, will
That'd be
he just get
awesome.
knocked out?
Should
in the
he do
first-
that though? Like,
No, no, he should not do that.
What's the smart if you're trying to teach Charles to
I don't
win?
know, because he kind of failed with the opposite game plan against Islam, which is a more patient approach.
I think he had a terrible game plan against Islam, by the way.
He did not try to overwhelm him at all. And that's the thing. Like, if you're fighting a guy like like Charles, it's good if you can predict what he's throwing. And when you can predict what he's throwing, like the best time to see it is if he's fighting like he did against Islam, just not overwhelming you and just, throwing seldom
beat Charles.
significant shots. And maybe he should fight Beneil like he fought Gagey,
But also, you got to remember he pulled guard against Islam to start the.
Yeah, that's true.
That was really stupid. But he did look good on the ground, though.
He looked good. Yeah, he didn't get beat up at all on the ground.
He just threw that stupid knee that he got knocked down by.
Yeah.
What if that doesn't what if Charles comes out there fucking like he did against Gaethje?
Guns blazing, dude.
Like we
Rocks
saw
him right away.
Volk hurt Islam.
Yeah.
Charles so much more power than Volk. So much more power. And I think Charles is better takedown defense than Volk.
He has good takedown defense.
He does have good takedown defense. He's a really good grappler. Like, I don't know. Like, if Islam took him down normally, like when he wasn't hurt, like who knows?
If he never hurt Islam, if he never hurt Charles, I feel like it would have just been way more competitive.
Yeah.
But it was on the feet. That was the issue. And that's what scares me with Charles. It's like
also Islam in the
feet,
second
he was
round
supposed to win.
Islam in the second round struggled to take him down before that. Remember?
Yeah, he got his takedown stuffed.
The takedown he landed was the one who was the trip. That's the takedown that Islam landed. He didn't land the takedown to start the fight.
Yeah.
It was Charles pulling guard.
Yeah, and then Charles got back up after he got taken down in the second round pretty easily. So
it was in the first round. It was in the end
or the first.
Yeah,
The striking was the difference, and that's like this. That's the thing,
Yeah, but it's because Charles wasn't aggressive enough. Maybe.
Yeah,
what if he takes his chance against Islam?
Or maybe Islam just a really good counter striker as well. And I feel like Beneil is not the same guy.
Maybe he was hurting him, Charles.
Yeah,
I think Islam showed in the Volk fight too that he is a really good counterpuncher because a lot of times when Volk came in the pocket, Islam would drop him. So I mean it's really such a question mark on that Charles fight because he looked like he really just didn't look like himself. Whether it was the pressure, his chin, throwing stuff that he never that he doesn't really throw. So I think, that was definitely not the best Charles, but again, we'll see. I think it's going to be interesting to see how he's done with this time off because a lot of the time when we saw with Tai Tuivasa where he didn't take a lot of time off after having a really grueling fight. And I think one of the things is after that Gaethje fight, that definitely took some against Gaethje and Poirier. Charles got cracked badly in both of those. So it makes you question maybe his chin was getting a lot of damage from those. And maybe with this time he'll look a lot better, but it's really hard to pick him against Dariush, especially after what we saw Dariush do to a guy like Gamrot, who was able to basically win a fight off wrestling against a 6'3" guy who's huge for the weight.
I think Charles has a real chance, though. I think
he does.
Yeah,
he's got a chance. I think he's taking the right approach. I don't think he's fighting too soon after the Islam fight.
Dude, I kind of want to pick Charles now. Just based on Beneil is,
Beneil
is good though, and Charles is way more dangerous than Gamrot.
Yeah,
but Charles' chin's a lot worse than Gamrot.
Yeah,
that's true.
It is worse.
I don't think Gamrot's chin is anything
mean,
crazy.
Hey,
Turner-
Gamrot's chin is nothing crazy. He's gotten dropped like in
but Turner fucking
most of his
hits.
UFC fights.
Turner hits hard, and so does
Gamrot, I mean,
That's-
Gamrot got dropped by Grom Kutaledze and Arman Sarukian.
the next
yeah,
champion.
I was gonna say.
The next
Yeah.
champion. No, yeah,
The
no,
next champ, dude.
yeah, yeah, but it's only he fights like once every 2 years. But yeah,
I
no,
do have to say though, because I said hardcore fans hype up Grom more than anyone. I feel like now we should say the most hyped up by hardcore fans ever is Petr Yan. That's just, I think it's a fact.
Yeah.
Even though he's still good, I just think it's the truth.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I think Charles could win this fight. He should win this fight. Charles should win this fight. That's the
He
truth.
should. On paper, he wins.
He should win this fight. He should. It's just the chin.
Yeah, dude.
he
I just
can't
know he's
do
gonna
this
get cracked
bullshit.
by a big shot.
He can't do this bullshit where he fucking just where he just falls down or what. Like he can't. You can't do that.
If he gets hit by Beneil, he's gonna be in serious danger.
But
Yeah.
what if he pressures Beneil like crazy? And what if it's just too much for Beneil to handle? And but he knocks Beneil out or knocks him down and slashes a submission on him?
Yeah.
Like,
lot of
I
things
want
like that can happen.
Charles to win so badly. I
Same.
want him to win so badly. But he's doing everything right though. He is doing everything right. He's not taking a fight too soon after. He didn't when Tony I compare this to the Tony downfall only because they both had this super long win streak. That's why I compare it. I think one of the differences that Tony fucking got destroyed against Gaethje. That was a beating for rounds. Charles didn't take a crazy amount of damage. And also Tony was a lot older. Tony was 37 at that point. Charles isn't young, but he's not that old. You know what I mean? So I don't know. He could win this fight. He really could win this fight. And I really hope he wins this fight. But at the same time, I think the safe bet is Beneil. I think Beneil. Charles has gotten cracked by he's gotten dropped by his last 3 opponents. What's to say it's not gonna 4 opponents? Yeah, pretty much 4. Chandler too. What's to say that it's not gonna happen again? How can we say it's not gonna happen again? So I think, I think Dariush is gonna win, but dude, I want Charles to win so badly. I really do. But what if Beneil doesn't drop Charles? But
If he doesn't drop Charles, I think Charles is gonna win.
Yeah. I think the main way that Charles will lose is a KO. I think if it goes to I think as the fight progresses, I think Charles is just going to continue doing damage and just taking out the gas tank with those knees and throw some hard elbows and start to wear on
could be too much. Could be too much for Dariush.
Yeah, for sure.
It could be too much for Dariush. That is a question too. He's never faced a guy like Charles with that amount of pressure, those knees, the elbows. Oh, you could take down Charles if you want. Take him down. Take him down. He's got the best submission game in UFC history. Islam had his success when Charles was hurt. So it's not really he needs to fear the takedown against Dariush. I don't think he feared the takedown against Islam either. I don't think it was about that. So it's just gonna come down to the chin. You know what I mean? Dariush doesn't have the best chin ever, right? He's gotten knocked out before. What's to say that he doesn't get knocked out by Charles? And who knows? At the end of the day, though, Dariush hasn't been tested as much as a Charles either.
Yeah.
And he beat Gamrot by a decision. Gamrot, this guy is fucking zero striking at all. He won a close decision win by knocking him down in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Then he beat Tony Ferguson before that. Who doesn't beat Tony Ferguson at this point? Charles beat Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler. Finished all of them. And then lost to Islam. It's just by getting cracked. It's just, I don't know. I think Charles could knock him out, or I don't know if he would knock him out. I think he could knock him down and then latch on to submission and win. I could for sure see it. And I think Charles has more ways to win. That's what I would say. Charles 100% has more ways to win. 100%. Let's be honest. Dariush's only way to win is that his chin is just bad. That's how he wins the fight. No,
Yeah.
he's the ability to drop him or knock him out and latch on a
Yep.
submission. That's how Dariush wins the fight. Charles could do so much more to win this fight.
Yeah.
So maybe we should be picking Charles.
And maybe Charles could like, find an exchange where, he can wobble
He's also quicker
or
than
hurt
Dariush.
Dariush and just jump on his back on the feet and maybe take him down that way and find a submission. Maybe he wants to grapple. Like maybe he wants to
I
avoid
bet
striking
he
and
would love to
grapple.
grapple.
And
I bet he would love
I
to
also
grapple.
am very confident in Charles's grappling too. So even
I
though
think
Beneil's
Charles-
good, I feel like Charles would be better.
I think Charles is more dangerous
Yeah,
than anybody in that division on the ground.
I might change my pick, to be honest.
Yeah, I might change my pick too, like to Charles.
Dude,
Because it
I
like,
think we're just
a lot of
assuming that Charles is going to get knocked out
Like,
because
yeah, I feel like it's not the best to just pick a fight based on a guy's chin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
but it's not just his chin. He does also get hit easily.
but
And
like
we when is the last time we've seen Charles take a big shot and not
Avoid.
fall?
also avoid or slip a punch.
But like he's got dropped twice by Gagey, twice by Poirier, by Chandler. Like he literally gets dropped in every single one of his fights. Like what makes us think that it won't happen now? That's another good question. He does get hit.
That is, but dude, at the same time, we got to remember those kind of strikers he fought against. He fought against fucking Dustin Poirier,
Yeah.
one of the best boxers in UFC.
with a
Fought
ton of
against
power.
Justin Gaethje, a guy who like has knocked tons of people out. Michael Chandler, another guy who's knocked tons of people out. Like he took
And
their-
Islam.
Islam,
Yeah.
amazing boxer.
But
Well, I
like Beneil Dariush has put a lot of guys on their ass.
But when was the last
Yeah.
time he did that?
And that shot that he hit Gamrot with was
Gamrot.
like a really fast
Yeah.
shot.
But
It
that was
wasn't
the
like
third
it
round.
wasn't like a lucky
Who know-
shot.
Who knows if how do we know he's going to be able to go to the third round with Charles Oliveira?
It's true.
Like we got to look at.
I'm just saying, man. It's the hard one to pick, but I kind of want to pick Charles. Like Charles has
I kind
more
of want
ways
to
to
pick
win.
Charles too. I kind of want to pick Charles too. First glance, I thought Dariush 100%, but now as time goes by, I think like I don't know if we should count on like him winning by a fucking like because of his chin. You know what I mean? Because that's how Dariush is gonna win this fight. 100%. But like if Charles's chin is not bad, he's fucking smoking Dariush. I think we
Yeah.
can all agree on that, right?
I don't know
And
about smoke, but
he's fucking
I think
putting
he'll
him
win
out. I think he's putting him out. Let's look at his fights. I mean, he had his last.
well, the
three
only
fights
time
was-
Dariush has gotten knocked, he got knocked out like very early on in
Yeah.
his UFC career, but he has been in deep waters where he's been cracked, and luckily he's pulled out like knockout wins, but
Yeah.
he's definitely been cracked a few times. So who's to say? But I think I will change my pick to Oliveira, both because I want him to win, and also because, like we've been saying, there are just more ways for him to win. And a lot of the time, you pick the guy that has more ways to win, whoever's the
Yep.
better martial artist. So
But again, we picked the more ways to win against Islam.
We did more ways to win against for Jan too.
Yeah, Jan too.
Yeah.
It's
Like
such a
Jan
tough-
had more ways.
It's such a tough sport to predict. It really is. And I think this fight
I know.
is the ultimate 50-50 fight. And it's like a fight where like we don't know until they get in the cage, until he gets cracked, until Charles Oliveira takes the first big punch. We don't know.
Yep.
We don't like it's such a tricky situation. Like the thing that I'm happy about and like the one fight that I'm like really confident about coming up is Pereira. No, I can say. Like I just like that's the one fight where I'm like, there's no concerns. Like that, like I just am just so confident that Pereira is just gonna knock Izzy the fuck out and just like for me, it's just what round will it happen. That's what
Yeah.
I'm the most curious about. I mean, not what the outcome will be, not how the fight will go. I just think what round will that happen? Because I'm thinking round 2 or 3 probably. That's what I think. Adesanya has no chance. Like I would give him a 1% chance completely. And that 1% chance is if he catches him because he has a bad weight cut. That's the only chance he wins. Do you guys see any other chance Adesanya wins this fight?
I mean, it's so hard to be perfect for 25 minutes, but if anyone's like someone to do it, it's Izzy.
But
So,
how?
like, well, he almost did it last time. Like
Yeah.
he was perfect up until
But how many times is it going to be?
But hold on. Another thing I want to add to that is like the fifth round. It's not like he was perfect in the fifth and then he got caught at the last minute. Like Pereira marched forward and just got right to work.
Also,
and
that first round was
for
close.
2 minutes and then put him out.
That
so
first round was close. That third round was close until he got the takedown. Like it wasn't Usman Edwards like in my opinion.
I just felt like it was just a matter of time before Pereira would have knocked him out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the same thing in this fight. It's just when is it gonna happen? And I mean, Izzy could win, but yeah, I don't really see it happening. That's why I definitely picked Pereira by knockout.
But you're right though. Maybe Izzy could just play it really safe. And I mean, like, I don't know.
But I think at some point Pereira's just gonna catch him.
Yeah. I mean, Izzy's
going to be
way to win is to jab and Pereira's just not going to let him play it safe.
Yeah, that's true.
It's literally up to Pereira when he wants to end this fight. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like Pereira can literally march forward in the first round, just not giving a fuck, and he can knock out Izzy.
But hold on, that's where it's dangerous though, because Izzy is a great counter striker.
But dude, like it's like I just think Pereira didn't know that until the end of the
Remember, Pereira didn't give a shit when he closed the distance in the first round. He got correct.
But at the same time, though, I think that Pereira, like, I think he didn't realize how easy it was to knock out Izzy until that last round. I think he could have did it earlier if he like.
You think it's just you think he realized just land, but landing it was hard though. Because he couldn't land a clean left hook on him. It was some of the early on
kicks too. It was.
No, but I think that Adesanya was moving a lot better in the first. Like,
but I mean, also like, we got to
brutal.
remember like what Adesanya's best thing is. Like it's his kicks, and they're just not going to be effective against Pereira. They're just not going to be. You know, he's checking them, all that stuff. Like like jab, like punches. Pereira's so much better at punching than Adesanya. Like so much better. You know, like they're just box. Like Adesanya is not that great of a boxer. Like some people
he's not.
Some people think he's just this amazing boxer. Like
he's good. He's all right, but he's nothing special.
He's got some good kicks. I have to say, Adesanya's got some good kicks. That's what
he's got some good hooks, but like that's kind of I mean, listen, his right hand is good and his hooks are good. That's it. He doesn't have a jab.
But like
he's got a good right hand.
Who did he land them against other than Robert Whittaker?
Well, he did. He rocked Pereira.
But like I don't know. I
mean, like, listen.
It wasn't against Jared Cannonier.
Definitely have a chance to like. Listen, Izzy rocked him badly in the first round.
Yeah, but dude, that's what we heard in the second fight too. Like it's just like, remember when everyone was like, Adesanya, if there wasn't a standing 8 count, it would have been done. I thought he just has his number. I think.
Yeah, I think he does, man. I think he's like clear. Like I could always be confident in Pereira knocking Izzy out.
But like, dude, it's just like this thing where at when Izzy at 7 years old is like, I could have beat this guy, like all that stuff. It's just gonna be that, him in his retirement home, like like just like having like his like nurse or whatever. He's gonna wake up from bad dreams. I should have beaten that guy. If I had 8 more seconds in that first round, I would have beat him. If there was no standing 8 count in the kickbox fight, I would have beaten him. Like all that, I could just see that, for his whole life, just like being continuing like making these excuses and stuff like that, like why he didn't win. I think Pereira is going to fucking knock him the fuck out. I think Izzy's delusion won't help him at all here. Like, I mean, like, I think if he had more of an Usman mindset where he's like, oh, like I lost this fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fair and square. And I think he just seriously believes that Pereira got him in the perennial nerve and like the 1 in a million like kick. And I really think he believes in his delusion. I think that's going to hurt him. I think like Usman could have made all the excuses in the world. He could have been, that was just a lucky kick. That's never going to happen again. But no, he trained, seems like he's training harder than ever. He gave the respect to Leon, he said he beat me, that's it. Like, it's time to get better, whatever. Izzy, you're not seeing that at all. You're not. And we talked about it in the first fight. We were like, the third fight, whatever it is. It's kind of ridiculous now, but the first time in the UFC, like we were like, okay, like Izzy's gonna remember, like in his back of his head, that he's gotten knocked out by this guy already, and now like that's even more of a factor. You know what I mean? Like what, like You know what I mean? Like it happened recently. So like that's a factor for sure. But also the other thing is like what is he gonna like tell media all week and all that? Like what are people gonna say? Like what is he gonna say? Like what's his excuse gonna be this time? Like I like
I
also
think he's going to be way more quiet this time.
yeah, but also like dude, like just imagine how confident Pereira is gonna be. Just that's a fighter who's confident is so dangerous. And I think like Pereira is gonna be super confident. I think his wrestling is gonna be better with Glover. Glover's full time working with him. And I mean, who knows in that first fight? Like if Pereira didn't go for that takedown, that Izzy reversed, like we don't know. Like Pereira could have finished him earlier. Like he was winning that third round. He was. That would have been 2-1 if he kept it on the feet. So I don't know. Then he probably wouldn't have been gassed in that fourth round. And yeah, like I think Pereira's gonna fucking smoke him. I think it's gonna be a second or third round knockout. And I think yeah, I think yeah, I don't really unless Adesanya unless Pereira has an awful weight cut, which is definitely possible, as he's fucking massive. I don't think he's gonna lose this fight. I think there's a 1% chance he loses this fight. I would give it that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that Izzy has to be so perfect. He has to be more perfect than he was last time. And I just think that like that mental factor of I did everything right. I was winning the fight and I still got knocked out. And I just think that he's gonna have to fight so differently, man. And if he grapples, it's just not gonna go well for him. So
He's not gonna take Pereira down. Like he's
yeah,
not.
he's not. And I just feel like Pereira just close the distance, but fight, reserved and just look for the left hook and he's good.
How would you
Go
fight?
the leg kicks, go and I think I'll clip him in like the second or third round.
So we all think second or third.
Yeah.
Maybe the fourth.
I
Like,
can't see it. I can't see it going.
do
I
you
don't
think
think it's
Pereira
gonna
could win by decision?
Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah, he
so.
could definitely win by decision, but I don't think it's as likely as it is by KO.
I think
Yeah.
Izzy's best chance of winning is by KO. That's what I would say.
I honestly kind of agree with that, to be honest. Like, I feel like at 25 minutes with Pereira is just a nightmare for Izzy.
Something is going to happen.
Well, yeah, it's just I mean, it showed in that first fight or their third fight, like where
And the second
he's
fight in
doing so well, and just like when you're in with a killer for 25 minutes, it's really hard to avoid him for all 25 and not get hit with at least one clean shot, and that's all it takes for Pereira. So
Especially when
yeah,
that dude has the same reach and height.
Yeah. Izzy struggles
Yeah.
with tall guys. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Like
He's
yeah.
not no John Jones. He doesn't have the option to like shoot on the legs, dude.
What do you think Izzy's game plan is going to be this fight? Like generally, like what do you think him and his
I
team
feel
are
like it's the
gonna
same thing as last time. Same exact thing.
think he's going
Not
to
going
try
to
to
be
wrestle?
different.
I don't.
I
think
feel like he's just going to, you know what Izzy might do? I feel like because he might know that it's time to like risk it all and get the knockout. I feel like Izzy might be super aggressive, like really aggressive.
Knocked out.
That's probably what's going to happen. But I feel like he might just come out there and just shoot for it and see if he can get the knockout first.
I don't know.
Whoever gets rocked first wins, and Izzy might be going for that.
I just think Pereira's the better kickboxer though. Like it, you know what I mean? Like if they're exchanging who's going to knock who out, like
I
Pereira,
mean, yeah, but Izzy probably has a little bit of the speed advantage early on.
maybe yeah, but like Pereira can take a punch from Izzy. Izzy can't take a punch
Yeah.
from Pereira. That's what it comes down to.
That's true, dude.
Like, dude, the
You know?
size, also the size difference. Like, we got to remember, like, if Pereira's a successful weight cut, like, he's gonna be like how much bigger than Izzy in the octagon?
What if he misses weight, dude? Like that's the kind of shit that I worry about. That'd be
He'd still
that'd be
kick
so
out
annoying.
Adesanya's
That
ass.
means he would not get the belt.
He would still kick
Yeah.
Adesanya's ass though, like, which would be
Yeah.
nice no matter what. I can't see Adesanya winning. I think I look. There's a few guys like we just have to remember that like these guys who have these like late like finishes or girls like in terms of Valentina, like the ones who like get these huge upsets. A lot of them are gonna like. Like most of them end up losing the rematch. You got to just remember that. Like the guy who has the luck or not the lucky. I don't want to say lucky, but like has this huge upset. They usually lose in the rematch. Like Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
They lost in the rematch. Like What's another example? Like
Juliana Pena lost in the
Daniel
rematch.
Nunes, GSP versus Matt Serra and Matt
So you're
Hughes.
saying about
Like I'm just
Izzy?
saying is probably one of them is gonna like lose.
I don't know what the DC Stipe odds were. Maybe DC was an underdog against Stipe the first time.
Wait.
Oh
as
no,
in-
no. Oh, DC Stipe. Another example. DC
Wait,
won.
Jacob,
lost
are you
to-
talking about? Are you saying like who's the what? Like Uzma
these
or
huge upsets that they end up doing rematches for? Like whether it's
The winner of the winner who gets the upset usually loses in the rematch.
a lot of them
you're
do.
saying that Pereira?
No, but I'm saying is
No,
like
you're saying that Izzy losing, Izzy winning would be an upset, and like Izzy
no,
doing
but what I'm saying is that like
is it's not that case. It's not that case.
what I'm
It's not
saying
like
is
an
that like
upset.
there's Leon Usman, there's Izzy Pereira, and then there's Juliana Grasso. I think like I think you have to like look at who was doing the best before that. Like, and I think
Pereira.
was Pereira. So I think that's the one that's the
Oh,
most
and
honest.
Grasso is also.
Yeah, but I mean, I think
Yeah,
Grasso.
Grasso was doing well.
But I mean, I'm just saying is like I think Leon has the least amount of chance. Not to
Yeah.
those three. But yeah, no, I can't see Adesanya winning. I think Pereira is gonna fight a Whitaker or something, and you never know what will happen in that. But what happens with Robert Whitaker now? Like, what's up? Like, what he's just been waiting around. Like,
I mean, if Pereira wins, that's what's next.
you think he's turning right around? If I'm Robert Whitaker, I'm going to that fight. I'm going front row to that fight. I'm trying to like get in the octagon after, and I'm trying to fight.
Well, he's in Australia. I don't know if he's gonna do that.
I'm booking a ticket. I'm,
Yeah, honestly, I would do the same
bring
thing.
some
I think
hype.
he might.
He should.
Because
I love Robert Whitaker. Honestly, like
Yeah. Whitaker's like
he's
definitely
one of the
one
most
of the
likable
best.
guys. Like before we ended, I wanted to just do something. Now we're talking about likable guys. Who are like the 5 most likable guys in the UFC? Like guys that you just cannot hate. And yeah, not like maybe not guys we like the most, but like guys like that are you just can't.
I feel like Volk is up there. Whitaker's definitely up there. Maybe
Stipe?
Stipe. I feel like who the heck dislikes Stipe? Like,
Yeah, how can you dislike Stipe? Tuivasa.
Yeah, Tuivasa could be
But
up
he's
there.
not like
He's not the same, dude. Like
I think Charles.
I feel like Charles, dude. Everyone likes Charles.
You can't hate Charles.
Yeah.
Dariush maybe too.
Yeah, Dariush,
I
but
don't
like
think
he
he
doesn't
really
have the
does
personality.
anything that makes the
Yeah,
fans
yeah.
love him. It's not like he's
Yeah, exactly.
Max.
favorite.
Izzy, I mean Izzy,
Oh,
obviously.
Izzy,
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah, Max is up
Yeah.
there.
It's hard to hate Max. I was gonna say Poirier. I'm like, yeah, no.
But sometimes these fan bases make you dislike the fighter
Yeah,
sometimes.
I think Whitaker for sure is number 1 out of those guys.
Yeah.
Like, Whitaker is the guy in the UFC you just cannot possibly hate. Who's another guy? Like, I'm trying to think. Dominic.
A lot of people like Leon.
Leon.
Oh, Stephen Thompson.
Stephen
Wonder
Thompson.
Boy.
Come on.
Kevin Holland.
Yeah.
Kevin Holland, yeah.
Hard to hate Kevin Holland. Yeah.
Who are the most easiest to hate fighters?
Yeah, let's
Rob,
I
do
say
Izzy.
Strickland.
Oh,
Strickland?
likable.
Oh, you think he's? I mean, I think he's
hard to
easy
hate
to hate,
Strickland.
but I think for the MMA community, he's very easy to like because like he has no filter, and the MMA community loves that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think he's likable, but also hateable at the same time.
Yeah.
I think
What about Costa?
who you're talking to, whether they're like a woke person or
Costa, I feel like Costa's not as easy to hate because he doesn't fight.
Yeah.
I think Costa is very likable.
But at the same time, he doesn't fight. Like,
Yeah, he doesn't fight. That like there's nothing that really pisses me off more than someone who doesn't
like Colby.
fight.
It's like Colby. Like I like
Yeah.
Colby's
I just can't
personality,
stand
but-
those kinds of people.
Yeah, I think Shavkat's hard to hate.
Yeah.
Shavkat's hard to hate. I'm trying to like think who else. I mean, Merab would be so likable if it wasn't the whole Aljo situation.
Yeah, if he was just like separated from Aljo and just would have fought him, like
he would
it
be so
different.
likable.
And no one would be hating him that much.
Yeah.
Petr Yan, you can't hate.
Yeah, I feel like everyone likes Piotr, but like some
you
people
can't.
starting to say that they don't like Peter that much.
How
But I
though?
feel like there's a
Such
very
nice-
select few people.
I think
Before
it's
the
just he hasn't been doing
Sanhagen,
it well.
you can't hate Sanhagen.
Sanhagen, yeah, Sanhagen's a cool guy.
Cheeto, like
I like Cheeto. I could understand not liking him.
Cheeto's
I can understand not liking him though. I mean, I'm just trying to think of like big name. Dominic Cruz, like
Oh, he's easy to dislike.
yeah, I mean,
I don't think there's many people that are like huge fan favorites. Like
I think
at
other
For,
guys
for,
are
yeah, there's not many.
Charles, like,
Masvidal's like the most hated, right?
yeah,
Masvidal in
yeah,
2019 was loved by everyone.
yeah.
yeah. I think Nate Diaz.
I think Michael Chandler, I'd say it's hard to hate him.
Yeah,
Mm,
it's hard to, but then again, like he's a little bit too
no.
nice, and people don't like that all
Yeah,
the
where
time.
it's like
And he also has no fight IQ, so people like accuse him of like throwing fights, basically.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think Gaethje's the most hateable. Oh, guys are the most hateable. Gaethje,
Gagey.
Oh
maybe
yeah.
Gaethje, Adesanya. Um,
Um
Gaethje, Adesanya. Who are some other guys?
I can understand
uh
not liking John.
Oh,
John Jones
An-
is
Anthony
easy to root
Smith.
against. Anthony Smith, yeah,
but he's just irrelevant. Oh, Jamal
yeah,
Hill
yeah.
is hard to hate.
But it's fun to see Anthony Smith being delusional and thinking he's going to be the champ, dude. It's always fun
Every
to
like
see.
year
It's always
he'll,
fun to
he'll
see Anthony Smith talk about how he's like a couple of fights away from the belt and how he has a good
Also, it's
stylistic
hard to hate
matchup.
Yuri. It's hard to hate
Yeah,
Yuri
Yuri is impossible to hate as a
and
fighter.
Jamal and Yuri. Both.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say Jamal and Yuri are both very likable. And
Also, Jan Blachowicz. It's so hard to hate.
Yeah,
yeah.
Jan is a really likable guy. Like, who
Jan's
the
a-
fuck dislikes Jan?
I mean, I
Mhm.
think the easiest to dislike is obviously Adesanya.
Oh, you know who's also pretty easy to like? I think Johnny Walker is
Yeah,
hilarious.
Johnny Walker's cool, man. I like
It's
Johnny
hard to
Walker.
hate him. It's hard to hate him. I think these
Yeah.
light heavyweights. I mean, they seem like
Yeah.
some likable guys.
Yeah, light heavyweights are the easiest to
The nicest,
like.
nicest division.
Tom
is.
Aspinall is easy
Oh,
to
easy to
get
like.
behind.
Oh, Patty Pimlet's easiest to hit.
Oh, Derek
Yeah.
Lewis. Everyone loves
Oh,
Derek
Yeah,
Lewis.
everyone
I'm
likes
kind of
Derek
done with.
Lewis.
I'm kind of done with him
Yeah,
now.
he sucks now, but
Yeah. When he was in his prime, it was different.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who's.
O'Malley's like I'm not a big O'Malley guy anymore.
I like him. I don't love.
He's all right. He's all right. I feel like I give him a little shit too much, but like I don't know, man. I hated the way he reacted to the Jan fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he was like, if you think I lost, you're just a
Yeah,
hater.
he was like, if you think I lost, your life sucks, basically. Like
like
it's
just
just like
yeah.
it wasn't true at all.
Like, come on. Also, his podcast, it's just like him and like
Yeah.
Bill, me and what's his like his friends. Like he just like
I forget their
crazy.
names.
Yeah,
I kind of like his. I find him.
Yo, me and
entertaining.
Schmitty were
Schmitty
me
and who's
were
the
at
other guy?
club last night, and dude, just
Yeah.
crazy stuff happened. Like
Yeah. Who's
No.
the other guy? Schmitty and what's the other small guy's name?
I don't know. He's like, then Sean's brother's like, oh, so did you catch the fights? He's like, oh no. I just
Yeah.
I watched a recap which
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's one of the things that
like,
like, he acts like he doesn't care about the UFC and like
yeah.
I mean he doesn't watch all the fights, but
But the funny thing is that also Cyril Gahn's hard to hate.
yeah, Gon is easy to like.
Gahn's really easy.
Like who dislikes Gon that much? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Francis was easy to like until
Not
he
anymore.
stopped fighting.
Yeah.
But,
Till he stopped fighting.
Yeah. Also, DC was so easy to like.
Yeah, DC.
Khabib was very easy to like.
Yeah.
Do you
Islam.
think Connor's easier to like or hate?
Khabib was easy to like.
I feel like Connor's easier to like in my opinion. Like
Now he
feel-
is. Now
But
he is.
like Connor and Habib are just on polar. Like I could understand disliking both of them.
Yeah. I think both. Yeah.
I could see people being like, dude, Habib is this fake humble guy. Like he thinks he's better than everyone because he's religious, and like I could see that.
Yeah.
I like Islam a lot. I think.
But I
Oh.
like Habib. I like Habib and I like Connor. I'm a fan of both of them,
You know,
personality wise too.
Sure.
I'd say Gilbert Burns is also very likable.
Oh, dude, Gilbert Burns.
We forgot about him. He's
Yeah.
I think
Can't hate him.
should we just
The
set out
easy-
a top
the
5
hardest-
right now?
Yeah. My easiest to dislike right now is Patty,
Is he?
Sean O'Malley. I would say Gagey. I'm also gonna say Dustin. His personality, I can't stand Dustin. I
Izzy?
feel like he's so fake, dude. And then I would say Jorge.
What about Izzy?
I feel like I'm kind of disliking him less now that I feel like he's not a champion and it doesn't piss me off as much. But I still find his fans to be extremely cringy.
A lot of it has to do with fans, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Jorge, I just genuinely think he's annoying. And same with Dustin. Like Dustin's fans aren't annoying. It's just Dustin himself. I just don't like. I feel like him and Gagey are similar for me. I just feel like they're a little fake.
I think Gaethje's worse.
Yeah.
Gaethje's worse. I think he's yeah.
He calls people quitters. He acts like he's tougher than everyone, and like, yeah.
Also Dustin, when he wins, he's such an asshole.
Yeah.
Oh my.
I feel like Connor's the easiest to like for like me
Connor's
though.
great after a win or loss. You know, Connor, if he wins, he gives a lot of respect to the opponent.
After the loss,
Besides the Poirier,
he said,
besides,
"Your wife's in me DMs."
yeah,
You know?
besides, but I mean, the adrenaline was on a different level for that one after breaking your leg, so it's a little,
yeah, but
that's a
still,
little. But usually he's usually pretty good about it, especially after a win. But
yeah,
Aldo was impossible to dislike.
yeah.
Aldo, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of these Brazilian fighters are so easy to like. Honestly, I have to say.
Are there any Brazilian fighters that like people just don't like at all?
Uh,
Costa, maybe he's the
Costa
one guy.
now because he
Doesn't have a lot
doesn't
of people
fight.
that don't like him.
Yeah, Costa now just because he doesn't fight, but Charles just like the most. Like, if you don't like Charles,
Figgy.
like, you're a hater. If you
Oh
don't
yeah, a
like
lot of people don't like Figgy.
A lot of people don't like Figgy.
Oh, but like he's funny. He's just funny.
Yeah.
Oh, Brandon Marino is another guy who like is like everyone's like, oh, this guy's so likable, but he's just like it's.
I just don't really like him that much.
just weird.
Because,
Like he just plays Lego and like like
It's kind of funny. He's like a man baby.
yeah.
He's just like Pentoa. I mean, maybe like I don't know. He's not relevant enough, you know.
No, yeah.
I find myself I like the villain kind of guys.
Yeah,
Like
Figgy's just
but like
funny.
I like the storyline villains, not the real villains. Like I feel like
Oh, man.
Hamzat's a storyline villain. Jan is a storyline villain. Who else
Jan
is like a
Blachowicz?
storyline?
Cheeto.
No,
Cheeto.
Jan, Petr Yan.
Oh, okay. Cheeto Vera.
Cheeto,
Yeah.
is he a villain?
I think so. I mean, he's been knocking out everyone in the division.
The knockout dominant.
Yeah. I like Cheeto. I feel like Cheeto, he dresses like a fucking high school hippie, bro. Like he's got
He's
this
dope.
weird style.
He's dope.
Yeah, but I honestly like his personality though. I feel like
Yeah.
Luke
his
Rockhold.
personality is really interesting.
Him and Luke are so funny together.
Yeah, Luke Rockhold. Dude,
Yeah.
I feel like I can't stand Rockhold anymore. Rockhold's no, dude, he's too serious. Like Rockhold used to have awkward, funny interviews. Now he's like comparing UFC guys to like being slaves and shit. Like I just feel like he's too
He's
brain
delusional.
damaged.
Yeah. Bisping is so not likable.
Yeah, Bisping's all right though. I feel like
he
in
was
interviews
less likable when he fought.
Yeah.
I generally think Bisping's a good guy. I just think he's like a bit delusional, you know, and he's not the brightest guy there is.
Yeah. He's not a good commentator, in my opinion.
DC, such a likable guy. Do you
Yeah.
guys think he was salty about the John Jones? Like, do you
Yeah.
think he was like, what do you think, guys?
I don't know, man. I feel like, I mean, what did he say that was not true? He said that Stipe would be a tougher matchup. I feel like that's just a
I
fact.
think it was more that he just was like Stipe looked super like DC looked very salty and stuff. Like I think it was more just that. And DC was like it was confused about the submission and stuff like that. And Jones,
But to be honest, a lot of us
were. I think Jones is like the nice guy act may have just ran out. You know, like I think the subscription was done. You know, and I think he went back to being, you know, salty. I want him to be not the nice guy. You know, it's definitely more entertaining when he's like this bad villain. You know what I mean? So, but I don't think we'll see much trash talk with him and Stipe. Honestly, I think it'll be pretty respected. And yeah, so yeah.
Yeah.
Sammy, who do you have winning?
I think Jones is gonna try to trash talk Stipe.
You think he will?
Yeah.
Stipe's not gonna
dude.
talk back.
He's gonna just say at the press conference, like, "Yeah, I'm gonna finish you, Stipe," and like Stipe's gonna have to respond. Stipe will just say, "All right, we'll find out and see." He won't.
I mean, if you think about it, dude, like Jones was still trash talking Gon. Gon just
Gon
didn't say anything back.
I felt like Gon the whole time was like scared, like from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like he would not like say shit. Like Jones was like bullying him up there. At the press conference, he was like bullying up there. He's like, "You're like the least like complete fighter in the top 5," and like
at the time, I was viewing all that as like bulletproof Gon confidence, you know.
Dude, he was just like bullying him, and Gon was just like not saying a single thing. Like that's like
that's what Jones does at all of his press conferences. Dude, the only guy that talked back was Reyes, and Reyes actually beat him.
You should
the coolest part.
Like, it's fine to talk back to Jones. Like I don't think it's like you should. I mean, that's confidence. Like Gon clearly just didn't have the confidence to beat Jones.
Dude, I honestly hope Stipe beats him so badly.
No chance. I think it's gonna be a closer fight than
he's not gonna win though.
Gon, but I think Gon had the better chance of winning, and I think he's gonna retire after that fight for sure. And I just hope that Pavlovich beats fucking Blades. I just don't want to see Blades. Because if Blades wins, he's probably gonna become champion.
Blades is boring, dude.
When Jones retires, Blades gonna become champion. if he
Yeah.
wins. And I think Pavlovich as champion would be so sick. Like he's
Yeah,
pretty
definitely.
active as a fighter too. Like he's probably the most active heavyweight right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I think it's a perfect time to call it. It's really fucking late. But this was a great podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and comment your predictions for this coming card in the comment section below. Thank you guys.
Yep.